way hella far away because we are live. This is Thought Bubble Podcast with us.
With Mr. Pepe.
Yeah, Mr. Producer, Promoter here, and, Anthony. And, we just came face to face with Johnny Law. Of course, it was by our request because before we were about to start the podcast, actually, let me go ahead and shoot some information out here to some people just so that we can get the ball rolling. But before we talk about the whole Johnny Law situation, how was your nothing? I mean, let's see, you signed the lease today. Let's talk about you for a second.
So, today I was like,
you got the go ahead.
Well, my month of January is actually turning out to be very exciting. Today I signed a lease and I'm officially moving in to this house that I'm at right now. And I also got my new computer chair for me. So
delivered way earlier than expected. It happens to be on the same day that he showed up here.
It was supposed to come January 17th. It came January 4th today. 4th. And then, so that was exciting. And then also next week, I have my 25th birthday coming up on the 11th on a Wednesday on my day off. So that'll be nice. I don't have to schedule off for work that day. And also, I should be getting my bike back probably, I'm hoping by the end of January, or at least we get the part by the end of January, and then maybe I could possibly get it, before I move in, maybe late February, mid-February, but I'm hoping at least before January, or, is
whenever,
over.
Yeah, whenever.
But
you are welcome whenever.
But that'll be exciting when I get that back, and oh my gosh, I miss it, because on my days off, I'd go on 5-hour bike rides. I'd hop on it and go and be back, and I'd stop for food, go back and keep cruising, and then
still no real idea of when it's going to be ready.
Right. At least the part is being sent to us right now.
Yeah.
But and then besides that, it's just March.
Yeah.
But month of January is turning out really nice. Oh yeah, and I'm getting my new TV. I'm getting a bonus from work, possibly this week, and that entire bonus, I mean, it's around $300, but that's going to pretty much pay for my TV.
TV, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that I've wanted for 5 years.
Let's. Did you message our other producer?
Yes, I did.
Sweet. So let's talk about what just went down. We're not going to go into detail of why I had to call the police, other than the fact that a certain M
we could just say
likes to be harassing.
He was basically
slandering my name and
trying to
putting my personal information out online.
Trying to tarnish his reputation.
Yeah.
But also, I was involved too, because not only am I still kind of friends with him, M, but it goes more than that, because now that I'm living here, since that address is out there, if, let's say M were to send a different person to come over here and do something, is that guy really going to care if I...
So we wondered.
It's just more of trying to cover our bases.
We wondered, yeah, exactly, covering your bases. We wondered because obviously, in truth, it's like, I don't care. He's not really doing any serious damage. And even the police, so that we did call the... Did you hear that?
What?
Oh, I thought I heard... Oh. Might have been the plastic.
We didn't call the emergency number. We called the...
we called the regular, the dispatch or whatever.
Dispatch.
And I was like, I'm not really sure how to approach this, but, here's what happened. Here's the situation. This is how long it's been going on for. But, I just figured to cover my bases.
Right.
I figured and they said, okay, well, we're going to have someone come out to you very shortly here, gather information, yada, yada. And so... Me and Ben whatever. Me and the producer are sitting here talking about it, and we're just like, should we start the podcast and do it like, oh, here's part 1, and okay, now the police are here, we'll be back after this. And I was like, I don't know, let's give it 5 minutes, and then boom, sure enough, they knocked, and they were just here. And so, me and him were a little nervous, because it's like, I've never been on this side of the police. It's like, I requested their services.
Well, also, I really haven't had a history with the police besides, underage drinking once, but even then, even before that, I've always hated the police.
Oh, I never hated the police. I've never, even when my troubles happened, I never had a bad experience.
From my perspective, they're always invading into what you're doing, because actually, a funny story. I was going to just a movie theater with a friend after work, and yeah, it was kind of late, but it was like right after we got off work. We're off the next day. We just want to go see a fucking movie, right? Who cares? He was a little bit younger than I was, but you know, I was I'll put it to you this way, the legal adult in the car, and so we're just on our way over there, and he has a broken tail light. Just a broken taillight. I pointed out to him when he picked me up, and I was just like, hey, look, you got a broken taillight. If you go on the highway, they're going to pull you over. And sure enough, guess what? Not even on the highway for no more than 5 minutes. Got pulled over. The guy walks up, we're talking to him. I'm telling him, hey, we're going to a movie theater. I gave him the name of the movie, everything. And he was like, okay, can we search your car? I go, well, this is not my vehicle. This is, the driver's. And I go, well, you know what? Before we take any further step from now, I have a question for you. Why exactly did you pull us over? Because I was wanting to confirm. He said a broken taillight. I said, look, officer, that's something cosmetic. Yes, it is important because, it deals with the car. But since that's not an actual crime, and my friend and I have not committed a crime, we're just going to a movie, you don't need to search our car. Like, you just don't. Correct. And so he basically stopped what he was doing. He said, yep, okay, and then just confirmed a couple things, and actually gave my friend a special ticket that said he just had to get it fixed within like a week or two.
That's usually what they do.
Yeah, and then sent us on our way. And he said, if you ever get pulled over again within these 2 weeks, just show him that ticket.
So, but to point out, nowhere in that story, though, did you mention that the cop was being a dick? Or a jerk,
well,
an asshole.
At first he was kind of just...
No, so hang on. So it is kind of their job to figure out the situation. Now, if you know your rights and you follow them, that's fine.
Dude,
now, if they go further, if they go past that and they start pushing, it's like, nah, dude, step the fuck back.
Well, in college when I was smoking pot at the time, I knew all the laws.
Why do you think I'm coughing real quick just to let them know? We were both kind of nervous. This is where I was going real quick. When we went out to talk to him right now, because I'm high as fuck. He's high as fuck. He was worried about looking high as fuck. And I was like, dude, you sound calm and normal. Just take your hoodie off. And, but once I got out there, I was like, bro, I'm asking them for help. And honestly, they were very stoic, like cops are. But they were very kind and they were listening. And, like, I even asked them, I was like, am I doing the right thing or did I just waste your time? And they said, well, is he threatening you? Do you feel threatened, like physically or whatever? And I was like, no, not really, but he scares me. Like, he's an unhinged person. I'm not sure what he is capable of. And so they said, okay, well, so I have the police, case number report, not case number, report number. And if anything else further occurs, I then just call them back, say, hey, I want to add to, 232, whatever the number is, and report this and this. And then I'll be eligible and allowed to go get what was it called? I sent it to myself.
Order?
A protection order from the court. Yeah. And then that way, if he does anything further, it immediately violates the protection order and charge it. What did he say? Officer, I couldn't understand his last name. I tried to read it. It looked like Sigurd. Hers was cool. What was it? Spangler. Yeah, Star Spangler. But he was like, yeah, if that's violated, the charges are immediately pushed onto the person violating the protection order. So, yeah, sorry, you were going to say something.
So, yeah, I think what their system is it kind of sucks. You kind of have to get, the person has to get a second strike. But the way I see it is, if he sends one more thing, that's protection order. And then anything after that, that's third strike, and then it's like, okay.
Well, then he gets pressed charges are pressed automatically. Did you hear what he said? He said automatically, meaning I don't need to press charges. They're automatically pressed.
Right.
All I need to do is make a phone call and be like, listen, here's proof that it's happening again. Mm-hmm. The problem is his little psychological warfare with whatever universe he lives in doesn't work with social media because everything is visible to the world. So all the lies and slander you can spread immediately get unraveled and you just get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
It's so I just wonder how far down the rabbit hole he's willing
Now,
to
I
go
wonder- I
before he
wonder
gets, slapped in the wrist.
I wonder if the police would call. Well, they probably wouldn't call Facebook.
Well, remember what they asked?
like,
what
but
they
wouldn't-
asked us? They
wouldn't-
said, "What do you want to?
Right,
what do you want from this?"
What I'm saying is, would
Yeah.
Facebook get a notice that says, "Hey"?
It wasn't on Facebook. Remember? Oh, you didn't read this. He said it was on. Hang on.
I thought it was on Facebook. Or was just the photo on Facebook?
No, it looks like he screenshotted. First of all, I don't know how he's on my profile because he's blocked. Someone else must have. I don't know.
Oh, maybe Alec.
No, because Alex, I'm
Oh.
not friends with Alec on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, remember he convinced Alec to block me. Yeah, that's the little grip he's got on it.
Maybe he got the picture before you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. But what am I looking for? Oh, yeah. He said it was from. Because I've never heard of it before. Oh, it is on. No, he said it was on Facebook. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
It's on the. What's this? It's on the Fisher's Uncensored Chatter to see for yourself. What's that mean? Fisher's Uncensored. Oh, is that a group on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Oh, interesting. No, that's kind of creepy of him to post that, but okay. Yeah, all right. I mean, like, it'll be interesting to see if anyone just shows up at my house. It's like, okay, what do you expect? Like, you want to, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what is Michael trying to achieve here?
I don't know. I think what it is he was hoping, like, if this got out, someone would come up to your door and probably, like...
What? Like, what? Exactly what?
I don't know. If someone was, I guess if someone thought you were doing that and still doing it, then he was hoping for someone to lash out at you, so that way he's not... Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to operate behind the scenes, so if someone else is, let's say, that bad or that,
So
way
they
worse than he
believe the
is.
slander and then attack me physically.
Yes, exactly.
He's trying to convince someone indirectly to attack me physically.
That way he doesn't have anything
That way he has
involved.
nothing to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when he posts that on his account, it's linked to
directly
him.
to him, yeah,
Now,
right?
if he were to send out like a
That's what I said.
newspaper, if he would have done like a newspaper
an
ad,
anonymous like flyer or
Right,
something,
that-
put it on the wall like missing cat shit, Like,
that would honestly be smarter.
yeah, right. Yeah.
But everything in social media is tracked.
I mean,
it's-
dude, that's what I said. That's going to be the downfall of his stupidity. It's like, what is his ultimate goal? And we know what it is. He wants to see me suffer. But the thing is, nothing he can do to me will make me suffer.
He realized that he lost a place.
He lost control. He used my house as a drug den.
Yeah, he lost. Basically, he lost a place where he could do drugs,
Do whatever he wants.
hang out with
break
friends,
the rules.
if that's what he cared about,
Yeah.
and then do whatever.
Sit on the
he
phone
wants.
all night with a girlfriend that broke up with him for good reasons. No?
Well, he broke up with.
No, that's what he said. Come on, dude, really?
I mean, I'm not going to talk to the girl, but
Whatever.
well, he did message me again and say that she texted him back and apologized for what happened.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't even know why you're friends with him. But that's between you and him. I don't care. Anyway, so yeah. I don't know. His end game. There is no end game. If this is his life, he's gonna be like one of those angry old men who are just angry to be angry. You know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
just die of a stroke or some shit. Like they see a teenager and they're like, "You're not doing it the right way because I did it better than you when I was your age." And he'll get on a skateboard and break his back. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, and then that'll be it. Yeah, the end. Because remember, everything he does is the correct way, and everything he thinks has to be correct. That's just the laws of physics right there in action. The world revolves around him.
Yep.
He is our sun, our moon, our heaven, our earth, our hell.
But even I was surprised that he did that. Like,
I don't know, man. Yeah, that was pretty intense. I mean, I just figured, like, yeah, we were literally sitting here about to start the podcast, one click away. And luckily, our buddy Finn took care of us. He's like, hey, just so you know, this was posted. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't panic. What made me nervous is having to call the police. I've never had to do that.
I mean, I guess you could have waited, but
No, there's no reason to wait. I want to nip it in the bud. You know what I mean?
true.
I've never had to deal with some kind of paranoid, he's like a stalker, if you think about it. Everything he's doing is targeting me. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, go away. Like, what do you, get out of, go,
I mean,
shoo.
you already have him blocked. So
Yeah,
it's
right?
like-
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, shoo, fly. Do not bother me. That's what it is. He's an annoying little mosquito that just needs to get swatted, I don't know, but put in his place. So, look, if I have the police on my side, I'm now up a level, and I don't
Right.
need to fucking even think about it, because hopefully nothing happens. You know, if he's smart, nothing further will happen. Because I will get that protection order.
And I mean, if they do talk to him, which they probably will.
Yeah, I'm sure something will happen.
He'd probably bring it up to me or something, send me something, and then I'd just be like, dude, you did what you did.
You chose to do this.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't tell him anything. I just told him that we were friends and that, you sent this stuff because I was there. I saw it. That was it.
Interesting.
I was just there to back Anthony up because obviously we have the post, we have the evidence, so there's no point in...
Yeah, he really kind of dug his own hole there, didn't he? He literally put himself in a position where we had to tell all of his little secrets, you know what I mean?
He inadvertently involved me.
Yeah.
Which he should know that I'm over here because I'm moving in soon, and and also he's told me things about you too, which he tried to compare it to Zach, and I was like, well, that's a completely different story right there, and Zach, I would say this, and with psychopathy aside from Zach and I are pretty much the same with the Asperger's stuff.
Sure.
But I've gotten over way more of what he's still dealing with at this current time.
But you try.
Right. That's the main difference.
Yeah.
And before, when I wasn't trying, you could tell.
You're saying before you was more like him.
Right, but I was never like him. I was still, because I was diagnosed with mild Asperger's. Okay. I don't know what he was diagnosed with, but I knew I was never, because even his parents told me, they're like, you are way more mature, you are way more, they even said I acted older for my age, and I'm younger than Zach.
Yeah, my mom said that too.
But I actually, what's funny is I tend to relate to people who are older than me and younger than me. Never people my own age. It's weird. Like, people my own age, I'm just like, but people who are older and people who are younger, I can relate to. Because, kids, they fucking love me.
You know,
dogs, they fucking love me.
I notice...
I'm more comfortable around adults.
I notice as I've gotten older, and it really, I think the transition was when I got rid of Michael. I realized I'm not that little kid anymore. You know, I'm not that 20-some-odd-year-old who's having fun constantly and always has to be drinking and smoking and moving and shaking and yada yada.
He was telling me about some things that happened prior, but this was back when you were dealing with,
heavy alcoholism.
And stuff. So I knew you weren't yourself.
Yeah.
Because I was surprised, but I guess when all three of us were helping you and we told you.
Yeah.
You changed. I mean, it wasn't immediate, but you did your thing and it worked. It did take, I felt like, to be honest, it did take a little longer than it should have. Because, if I was dealing with alcoholism and I knew...
You think it should have taken less time?
I'm talking about when you were weaning yourself off.
I see.
You could have weaned yourself off a lot faster.
Maybe.
Because that's why...
But you know how addicts are, dude.
Right, but that's why I was telling you, I said...
I felt like I need it.
That's why I was asking you, what's your baseline?
Yeah.
Where are you at now? Okay, try to take it down by 2 shots a week.
Yep.
And then,
and now I can't even fucking, dude.
Right.
What was it? I went to drink water, and I thought it was water because I reused the water, the vodka bottles just for a big ass fucking water bottle. Mm-hmm. It was vodka, and I took I didn't even drink it. It did not go down. Mm-hmm. The minute I tasted it,
you're like,
I sprayed it out of my mouth. I ran into the bathroom, drank actual water, mouthwash. I was like, dude. That was gnarly.
Also, I've noticed my body's changed to where I barely drink any alcohol. It was so weird.
Yeah, dude.
Because when I was
it's a wonderful change, and you think clearer.
See, well, what I'm saying is, I was never an alcoholic.
Yeah.
When I was 21, when I was 21, I had 7 shots and 7 beers that night, and I barely drank even before that.
I think we got Andrew listening. Hi, Andrew. How you doing, buddy?
But I would always drink massive amounts because I always had that high tolerance.
Nice. He's listening at work. Go ahead.
Yeah, I always had that high tolerance when, but I never drank all the time. I just had an alcoholic tolerance, basically. Because my genetics, but also, at the same time, recently, not even recently, but I've just noticed lately, I guess I should say. Maybe it's the Ozempic I'm on or something, but it's just I do not want to drink. When I went to the bar for New Year's, I barely finished the 1 beer that I had. Yeah. I think it was maybe a 20 ounce or maybe something like 22 ounce, something like that. I barely finished it. Instead, I just...
I'm always kind of nervous to talk, and I think I should talk about it. I think I should be more open with it because it's a good change. There's no doubt about that. And I know I struggle with giving myself praise.
I'd say if you were still an alcoholic,
No matter what, I am an alcoholic. You cannot change that.
What I'm saying is, if you were still drinking the way you were when I met you, I never would have moved in here.
Really?
Just plain and simple. Because moving in, I would have to deal with it.
And see, so on that topic, let me just get this out real quick. My thought real quick is I'm always nervous to talk about my success because people know that I still do drink. But how have you ever, since I've changed, have you ever seen me drunk?
No.
When was the last time I've actually taken a sip of vodka or of water vodka, whatever you want to call it, my concoction?
I don't know.
Maybe when we were downstairs.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we're working on your chair. But
it's
I
your day
kind of
off,
I
you're-
forgot exactly. It's my day off.
Because like me, even though I
And-
don't drink a lot,
but-
I still want to have my
Yeah,
favorite.
I like the. So let me explain it. I
Okay.
want to get this out because it's hard to explain. People think immediately, oh well, he's not he didn't quit drinking. No, I didn't. I like alcohol. But what I've realized is it's this nasty relationship. It's almost like I wanted to break up with it, and I still do. You know what I mean? And I just stare at it, and I talk to it. I was working yesterday, and I don't work. I don't drink when I'm working. So I just looked at the bottle, and I was like, "You and I have a very toxic relationship. I can't seem to get rid of you. Like I like you give me a little tease, you give me a little buzz, and I love that little nice warm tingly buzz, which doesn't take a lot of alcohol. And see, now what I do is I just stop there. And I force because what alcohol is doing is it's like this sick, twisted relationship where it's like, no, baby, you want more.
Right.
You want more of this girl. And then all of a sudden you realize, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I've noticed since I don't. So like when I went out to New Year's, like yeah, I wanted to drink, but I think I'm having that similar relationship. Once again, I'm not an alcoholic, not where.
No, you definitely.
Not where you are.
No.
But I'm still having that relationship where it's like my body says. No. But I went out to a bar and got a fucking beer anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't even finish it.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
And it's like me.
And you saw me pull out those bottles in my trunk again.
Right.
How we talk about this every week on the podcast. Those are the same bottles I talk about every single week. I just decided to take them out since we were unloading the car with your shit.
Right.
I still don't I go out and I buy it and I'm like, wait, do I even need to buy it? So I'm like, no, don't even buy it.
So me.
Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Like I said with the whiskey, when I move out, I do want to have like just my own bottle of whiskey out, but I'm not going to touch it all the time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The relationship I've built with it's a very scary one because I don't want to stop drinking.
I noticed that in the time when I was really emotional, that's when it got out of hand.
Yeah, when I was low in my shit,
because that was
I went to it. That was my go-to.
Because when I was here, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get fucked up.
And then you had your rock bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
And I drank the entire a normal.
You killed an entire fifth.
Entire fifth
of what was it?
Screwball whiskey.
And I tried to hide it from you.
It was I finished that in 3 hours?
Oh, dude. Yeah, remember we calculated. We did it on the podcast. We calculated what your BAC would have been, and it was like it was lethal. And it was borderline. Remember, there was lethal, and then there was one right before lethal where it was like that was where you were at.
Okay.
So you were right before lethal.
Yeah.
But it was like 0.37 or some crazy ass shit. I can't remember. It was something up there. So yeah, you burned through it. We'll pull it up one day just to enjoy it. But it's there on the podcast. But that was insane. And then
wait, maybe that's when it changed. Maybe when I drank so much alcohol and I got to that level.
Well, I'll tell you this: when I was hallucinating, that's when everyone. Well, no, really, you guys kind of gave me an intervention without knowing it. Because I was getting information from Brandy that she didn't like talking to me when I was drinking.
Right.
You guys all approached me. Francesca threatened to call my mom. It got so real to me that I realized, oh my God, what have I done? And then it all just flew in. I've wasted how many years of my life? I've burned how many bridges? I've ruined how many relationships?
Right.
I haven't learned how much stuff I could have learned already.
And I think part of it, the reason why my body's rejecting alcohol is I actually believe this solely, but since I've studied spirituality and they talk about vibration, how your vibration is...
You know I want to laugh, but I do take it seriously, so I'm going to listen.
How your vibration, how they define that is if you have a higher vibration, you do more positive things. Okay. Drinking alcohol is considered a negative thing.
Well, it's a depressant.
But
so by definition.
Not only that, but it damages your body.
Well,
anything that damages your body.
There's nothing
will put your
profound about alcohol. We'll just say that.
Basically, anything that affects your body in a negative way is going to quote unquote lower your vibration, have you in a more negative, level of vibration in this context. So like another example would be, our crappy food that we eat.
There, I just had a sip.
In the American diet, our food is pretty crappy, right? Any processed food.
Yeah, for the most part, yes, definitely.
In the spirituality point of view, that puts your body in a lower vibration because it's not natural food.
But
It's
see,
not.
I would still argue science says the
still-
same thing.
Well, right. It's still negatively affecting your body.
Yeah.
Because ever since we've switched to this processed diet, we've had all these different fucking diseases.
Yeah,
pop
did
up.
you ever hear about, I'll never forget this story. I was in high school, and they were talking about, this was back when I think it was, Bush was president, and we were bringing back Iraq, what do you call it? Not prisoners of war, but we were bringing people over to get them the hell out of Dodge. And they would come back, and they were starving and hungry, and we were giving them McDonald's cheeseburgers, and their bodies immediately rejected it, make them sick, vomit, they get like flu symptoms, because they were not used to that processed shit.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, over time, Americans are just like, fuck yeah, we can eat literally whatever we want, and our
also-
stomachs are okay with it. But
Also,
that's,
you know what also I've noticed?
cool
So,
and not cool. I don't
Here's
know.
some perspective. My mom has all processed food in the house. I'm not surprised.
Interesting.
so,
After seeing her, I
so
didn't know
even-
she was so big.
And so even though there's a lot of food in the house, and there's plenty of food, now when I look in the fridge, I go, what can I have? Because it's all processed. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just eat quesadillas.
You remember that conversation?
Because that's the least processed thing we have in the house.
You remember that conversation we had about his Zach's hot dogs, or sorry, what was it? Sluggy Dougie's hot dogs that were left in the house. So yesterday at lunch, I was like, fuck it, let's try to make it fun. So I cut the hot dog open in slits so that it could air out when I microwaved it. I wrapped the hot dog up in paper towels so that all that nasty fat grease, all that saturated in sodium and all that. Oh God. And then I microwaved the bread with it, which I knew it would make the bread a little chewy and hard, but I thought this could be interesting. So it did turn out really good, a lot better than just a normal fucking hot dog. And then I put mustard and ketchup. But what I noticed is when I was done, I came back downstairs and looked at the paper towel, the paper towel, and I looked at the color. It was all red and brown, and I said out loud to myself, I said, "Watch, it'll be solid." And I picked it up completely solid, packed with all that fat, that grease, and I said, "Yep, called it." Dude, and so now, okay, I tried the hot dog, right? It was okay as far as taste. But just seeing that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw these out. Now I kept them because I figured maybe you'd want them, but you said you don't eat. Yeah,
See,
I'm gonna toss them.
I used to eat hot dogs.
I
when
can't
was
do
younger,
it, dude.
and
I know when I was a kid, I
okay,
loved them.
When I found out,
Even a young
as
adult.
soon as I found out what they were made of, I
Yeah,
was like, nope.
yeah,
But
just
see, I
ground
will,
up crap
but see, I
or
will
whatever,
eat brats though. Brats.
See, and I never liked the taste of brats or that weird
But see,
chewy.
I get the cheese-filled ones.
Ugh, see,
Okay,
and I don't
so
like cheese in general, so
my
it's
favorite,
kind of weird.
My favorite is either the spicy ones, like it'll be like a brat with like peppers in it, or the cheese filled, and then of course they also have the spicy cheese or the spicy ones that also have cheese in them. Those are oh my god, those are my fucking favorite.
Yeah, I
Those
know.
are really good because I get the kick from the peppers, but also I get that cheese. 'Cause,
So-
you like to have cheese on your brat.
Well, see, I like cheese on a burger. I like cheese, I guess, in an
And
omelet.
so
I haven't really
what I
had an
hate
omelet in a
is
while,
I
but-
love how my diabetic doctor she'll make a joke. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, when you get a burger, you just need to get the patty." I go, "That's not a burger. I'm sorry. If I even when I was type 1 or when I thought I was type 1,
Yeah.
I would always get the bun. I didn't care of the extra carbs.
So I'll go with.
I
I'll
was
say
willing to spend quote unquote those extra carbs
Yeah.
because that's a fucking burger.
That's a burger.
You
I
give me a
agree.
patty, I'm gonna cut it up and be like, "Oh yeah, this."
So I will say this though. I will say this on that note. So I agree. So a burger is just a sandwich. So when I say when people say what's your favorite food, I say sandwich because it includes breakfast sandwiches, lunch
Right.
sandwiches, dinner sandwich, burgers. Deli sandwich. There's so many kinds. But anyway, as far now, I agree that you don't want the door, you don't like the door
No,
open.
I thought.
Yeah, I was saying to you before. I just love the fact that I can keep this door open and there's no chaos going on outside.
Creeps staring at you.
Yeah, creeps staring at you, popping in, just saying random shit. But so I agree with the whole burger thing. The bread it adds texture, it adds flavor, lots of shit. But I will say this. Excuse you.
Excuse me.
Was that the chair? Is that your brand new chair that made that noise? Oh.
No.
You're just warming it up for yourself. I see.
I had an edible last night. And
Really?
I'm having like edible farts where it's
What
not.
the fuck is an edible?
It's not. It's not stinky. It's just air. Like I feel like a little air buildup. So
Oh
like when
my
I woke
God.
up this morning, it was just a release of air.
I will say this on the note on the comment of farts. Ever since my diet's been really healthy, my farts don't smell at all.
Or was that fart from the one piece of broccoli I had?
Maybe. So how did you? Okay, so wait. Let's stay on track here. I'm gonna make a note though. What were we? Oh, on the topic though of burgers and buns.
Burgers
and buns. I will say this: with the right shape, because you really have to get the perfect shape of a lettuce.
Oh no! No, I'll stop you right there.
No.
I don't have lettuce or tomato on my.
No. That. Oh, okay. I see. No. So I'm just saying. Fine. Your opinion aside, I'm saying, I have had a what do you call it? A lettuce burger? I don't know what the fuck you call it.
With lettuce on the burger.
The lettuce is the bun. So
Oh,
you
a wrap, a lettuce wrap.
lettuce wrap, yeah.
Yeah.
So
See, my
if it's
doctor tried to recommend that to me, and I go, I don't like
no,
lettuce.
I got it. And see right there, that makes sense. If you don't like lettuce,
Yeah.
I mean, it really has no flavor. It's like 90% water.
Yeah, I was gonna say
There's
it's
no
water.
nutrients.
this'll help you
It's
push.
a green leaf.
Or maybe it's just to help you push all that bad stuff.
Yeah,
from eating.
sure, whatever. No, so I have tried a burger. With I had bacon on it. I had a fried egg. I
I don't
had
do
everything.
lettuce. I don't do any lettuce or tomato.
And see, I'm okay. I've grown
Now,
to
if
like.
it's-
But no, let me finish first. Okay, so I have tried it with everything on it and the lettuce, and I will say this: it tasted refreshing. I don't know. It tasted like I'm having, I don't know, a salad. I don't know how to explain it. But on the tomato, and then I'll let you talk on the tomato topic. I would say I totally agree with you, but lately, over the last few years, this happened in Indiana for sure. What's that restaurant with the burgers that I would Brew Burger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great place, wonderful burgers, great service, everything, beautiful. But Brew Burger, ladies and gentlemen, I can also promote. Ding. But what the fuck was? I tried having a tomato. No, they accidentally left a tomato on it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Right.
So no to sandwiches, and like deli sandwiches, can't do it on deli sandwiches. Can't do it on really anything.
Right.
Can't eat them alone as a fruit. But on a burger, for whatever reason, I've grown to like it. Now I won't always do it. I'll usually prefer not to. I usually like going the barbecue sauce, bacon, fried egg, jalapeno version, and that does not need a tomato.
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I don't know. Go ahead. What were you? Yeah.
So like tomatoes, yeah, I don't like those either because I mostly get that like wet, watery taste. But for me, it's also the texture too. Like it's
kind of slimy.
The texture is off. So like when I bite into the meat and then I bite into lettuce and tomato, I'm just like.
It's like you went from solid to weird liquid, but not liquid right away.
And
it's
so,
like,
so sometimes the lettuce could be too watery, or
Yeah,
even the tomatoes too watery.
tomatoes too well. That's what I thought
And then
you
you
said.
get a wet burger, and it's like I just want the juices from the meat. I want my burger. I want
See,
my bacon. I just want the
I agree
main
with you.
the main toppings that I asked for without having lettuce or tomato involved.
So you know how I was telling you when we were downstairs, like I let you try the broccoli. This goes actually to the note I just wrote. I was going to talk about broccoli and how you hate it. How did you like what I gave you?
It was good. I would say the only I'm considering eating broccoli again.
Because of what I told you?
Well, not only that, but also now that I know I can make it to the way I like it, I just want to change it to spicy ranch.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting.
Just
and we had plenty of seasons already.
Because when
seasonings.
Because for me, it's
Seasons.
sometimes the texture. Because when I tried it, I was like, oh, this is good. But the ranch that you had, it was just like
Okay.
odd flavor, odd.
Sure. Okay.
But if I tweak that flavor, I'll probably eat broccoli
But yeah,
more because I am starting to work out again, and also the more healthier I eat, the eventually I'll get to the point to where I will no longer have to take Ozempic.
Yeah.
Because right now
that's kind of your goal.
Right now,
Yeah,
I'm supposed to take it every week, and so my mom,
Yeah.
I love her, but at the same time, she's like, "Oh, well, it's not as bad as you used to be when you were taking 4 or 5 shots
fuck
a day."
your mom, dude.
And I'm like,
that's what I want to bring up to the podcast. Yeah, go ahead.
And I go, Mom, I'm like, well, yeah, that's great that I'm only taking 1 shot a week, and I'm no longer taking insulin because I found out I was type 2, getting the right treatment, and I'm just taking 1 shot a day. But I told her, I was like, Mom, I don't want to take any. Because guess what?
Yeah.
That's one less expense I have to worry about.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't have to get the full
Yeah.
health insurance with our company
Yep.
because I don't have to deal with insulin or that drug anymore.
Hell yeah.
But, my stepdad, who's still type 2, taking Ozempic.
I wonder how Andrew's medication. Do you remember if
Yeah,
he said?
and my mom's still taking Ozempic, and she's just
Wonder how
waiting
much
for her
he wastes
surgery.
a month for
No,
that
she's just
shit.
waiting for her surgery. She's like, I just want to be cut open, fixed, and then she wants the easy way out.
So this is on the topic again of your mom, and we got to go back to food though.
So that's my main goal. So like when I officially move out and I get my first thing of groceries, I'm gonna try to find as healthy as I can. I know you said those breakfast sandwiches are healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. On accident, I bought them, and it turns out they're
I'm gonna
guaranteed. This is how much you need every day. It's like, oh, cool, okay.
I'm gonna get those for sure, and then I'm still gonna get quesadillas because those are like my staple.
Yeah,
but those are healthy for you.
Honestly, to the point, I've gotten to, I think we've talked about this on a
yeah.
podcast before. My concept of food has gotten so simplified where it's like I eat when my stomach tells me I'm hungry.
Yep.
I know I'm eating
also,
healthy because the results are great.
And also, I will introduce you to pistachios.
We'll have to play around with it. I liked them at one point, but nuts have always been.
I don't get the bland ones. I get the salt or pepper ones. So it has some.
Is it a nut or a seed? What is it?
Pistachios?
Yeah, it's a nut.
No, it's a nut. It's a nut. Because when you crack it open.
Or a legume. I don't know.
When you crack it open, there's a literal nut in there.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely So I've also found a love for like just nuts.
All right,
know,
Mr. Bisexual, we know.
But in the nuts that you eat.
Yeah. No, so I'm okay with. I mean, if you can show me a way to like enjoy pistachios, I'll keep trying to find ways to help you enjoy broccoli. I mean, sure.
But the salt and pepper ones I like because they have a season to it. If you eat the normal little nut, you're just like, okay, this just tastes like a nut.
See, and that's the thing right there. No, and I know what you mean. It's like there's a weird. It's
boring.
It's a weird grind. It's a weird. So I have this ice cream. I got two kinds.
If you notice, we've been so used to eating processed food that's been flavored. So when you switch to a healthy diet, not all of it's going to be like.
No. So I see what you're saying, but I disagree in the sense that everything I eat, like I said, this is where I was going. My neurotic behavior. I have serious neurotic behavior with food. And you've seen me do that twice now. I have to eat broccoli. I have to peel one little piece of broccoli off the entire little.
Do you eat the bush?
Part? No. You saw how I peeled the side off, and it's like a tiny mini broccoli, the little tree off the big tree, and then I have to dunk that shit in that specific ranch. And it all has to have a perfect balance of flavor. Now, you were saying we're used to processed food.
Which is
so hold on. You saw how neurotic I am. I showed you how, when I made you that breakfast sandwich, I said this is how you make it so that all the flavor is balanced and all the moisture is distributed evenly, all the heat is balanced correctly. And I laid out paper towels, I put down the sausage and the egg next to...
update on my bike.
Excellent. Hang on, so let me finish this real quick. So anyway, my point is, and this is healthy food, but the way I made it is so neurotic that the flavor is flawless. But by the time I'm done eating it, I don't care. It's like jerking off. It's like, all right, let's do this. I have to do this. Okay, now you're done. Excellent. Let's move on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what's the update on the bike? Because honestly, I can't wait till you get that.
So my muffler just came today. So it just got sent to us.
So we had a really productive day today on accident.
So all we have to do is literally drive it up there. And so my mom said she'll have to find a place to get it up there. But I told her, hey, maybe my friend Jay would be able to take me, because he knows I'm struggling with the bike.
Jay.
And I'm trying to get it back, and so we could just drive up to Anderson, drop it off, and then it's done. And then I just got to wait for the guy to fix it, and then I pay the money.
Oh, he says, hang on. He says he's on an insulin pump, and what's CGM?
Oh, CGM is that thing
that thing that you used to use. So he potentially could get to where you're at and just not use it?
So he's type 2, but he's so bad where he has to take insulin. So, okay, so with type 1, here's the difference. Type 1, they start out with insulin. They say, look, currently to us, you don't produce any insulin. Here's insulin. You fucking need it. If you're type 2, you're producing insulin, and it's either your body's not reacting to it or you're just not producing enough sometimes. And then, you would take pills to lower your resistance.
He said I'm sorry, I'm just now seeing the chat because for whatever reason the chat's not showing up on this window. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what I did. Yep, there it is. Look at that, just one click.
So is he type 2?
He's been typing this whole time. He said, damn, Tony E is getting faded because I was smoking when I was... Dude, because I don't see the fear, you know what I mean? Like honestly, but again, I'm from California. Right. So to me, it's just a part of my life.
It's Indiana and how I was brought up.
Exactly, because you and I see it as like, to me, it's like, yeah, I'm getting high. So what? It helps me focus on work. It helps me like everything.
Helps with my pain. Yeah.
It helps with your pain. Like it's like whatever, and it's quote unquote legal. I bought it at a store. Here's the box. Here's the blah 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 blah. But it's like, but then they still say it doesn't pass legally as it doesn't pass a drug test.
Right.
So it really, this is a question, I don't know if Andrew's still here, but it's a question that I gotta figure out. Like, if it doesn't pass a drug test, like our company doesn't do drug tests. And my boss knows that I do the Delta 8 shit. And he said, oh, don't worry, we don't do drug tests. And I said, no, that's fine, that's good. But inadvertently, if you did, I would have unknowingly failed. And you would have not hired me. And me, buying it at a store, thinking, okay, no, this is cool, it's legal, excellent, not bad, good, moving forward in life. But no, it doesn't pass a drug test. So what exactly qualifies this as legal? It's like, okay, what you're really saying is it's legal to buy it, it's legal to smoke it, but it's not legal to have it in your blood. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is that shit? Like, where, at what point, like, that is such a gray-ass area where it's like, I mean, really, how do you get around that? It's like, hey, man, yeah, or in your case, let's say, like, hey, man, yeah, this really does help my pain. Oh, sweet, I can buy this at a store. Oh, it's legal, sweet. But then you go in for a job, and it's like, oh,
So-
I'm diabetic, I do this, man. Because so you said someone asked you if you had a what do you call it, a club card, whatever, a weed card, club card.
Yeah. Medical marijuana card.
Yeah, club card.
Right.
Fuck you. Is that an out-of-date term now? Is that
Yeah.
out of date? Oh, okay. Medical marijuana card. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you're focused on the bike right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh wait, no, dude, we could go next Wednesday too.
What do you mean
Well,
we? What are you talking
No,
about?
John and I,
Oh,
because we could go on my birthday. Well, okay, we might. I don't know.
I mean, shit, dude. It sounds like everything's lining up pretty well for you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I love these days off we have where it's like I really expect like nothing. I mean, I thought we were just going to build a table and you were going to bring shit over. Well, you brought shit over, but then your chair showed up out of nowhere.
Right.
And then M decided to push me to get the cops involved in shit that I just don't even want to be involved in. And then now we have a story to tell about the police, And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why people hate the police. I don't know. If you respect them, they'll respect you. But there are assholes. But everyone's, there's assholes everywhere.
Right.
You can't blame police. They're already in. Imagine I thought about this. I was watching some video, some free law video. Like this dude, someone sent it to me. They're like, oh yeah, this guy gives free legal advice during COVID, and he was blah blah blah, and that showed like body cams of this cop, and some dude like literally his engine caught on fire because he was doing dumbass donuts in a parking lot at a restaurant. And the officer did his job, whatever. And you could hear it slightly in the voice of the officer, like both the officer and the person being detained did everything in each other's rights. So
Right.
ultimately it ended how it was supposed to. The person who got arrested should have just like been like, fuck, yes, it was me. It was my car. I was on video getting donuts. Because the officer was like, I have it on camera. For the record, that was your car. You did the donuts, yes. And he's just like, I don't need to say anything. And it's like, you're right. You don't need to say anything, but because, you're... But anyway, so, and one thing I learned the hard way is you definitely do not lie to a cop.
Right. Okay.
Because the one and only time... That is what she said. The one and only time I've ever lied to a cop, he was a rookie. He was new, young. This is back in Moraga, California. Maybe it was Lafayette. I can't remember. But he was young, new, younger than I am now, that's for sure. Late 20s is what I'd guess. But I lied to him, and they called me out on it right away. And he said, do you understand how much more trouble you're in right now?
Yeah.
You just lied to a police. And I was... Dude, I don't think I was already arrested for a DUI. I just lied to a police officer. I don't think I've ever been more scared in my life.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's that is an actual crime.
Yep. Well, and it's not that it was a crime. It's that, dude, now everything that comes out of your mouth to us is just a lie. You are now on our shit list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything you say, we don't give a fuck. But, so anyway, no, I've only had very, very positive experiences with police. I've only had to deal with them on the wrong side of the law twice. 3 times if you count an open world capture the flag game in Moraga, California, where we got permits from the police to allow us to do capture the flag from our St. Mary's campus to the local park. But certain parents of this certain kid thought we were breaking the law, found out their son was out late after night, having fun. It was an Asian family, so a very Asian family. Their primary language was Chinese, but what was I going to say? No, so they called the police on everyone just to get their son home. And I was a lot of us were put in cuffs, put in the back of the seats. Doors were open. Everyone was just chilling. They were calling around. Then they found out we did have the permits, and they're like, we're sorry, go ahead, but be careful, because we had airsoft guns with the orange tips, We, yada, yada. We had things fenced off so that, paths that you were able to take and drive to.
Right.
But my point is, every experience that I've had with police, whether I'm asking for information or just chatting, or maybe they're questioning me, because, you get pulled over for no fucking reason, and they let you, it happens. And they're like, all right, sorry, we just thought this.
Or they pull you over for a broken taillight, then the next
just random shit.
And they ask to search your car, and it's.
But I've never had a jackass, like direct jackass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say
they're trying to just be powerful.
I would say that the cop that I dealt with, he was pretty nice, but he went from a broken taillight to.
He wanted to he wanted to see what he could get out of the encounter, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, but to me, it's just
because think about it. You asked me immediately before the cops were even here. You said, "Are you going to meet them at the door, or are you going to let them in?" And I said right away, I was like, "Good question, but we're definitely meeting them outside."
Yeah.
Because there's no reason. Now, if they came in my house, would I give a shit? No. But there's no reason to start some kind of weird, investigation and poke and prod.
Right.
It's like, dude, I just want to give you information, hoping I'm doing the right thing. I'm sorry for having you stand out in the cold. And they were both really chill. The dude was pretty, he was just like,
right.
Yeah, him and I were just having, you didn't hear it, you thought he was talking to you. Him and I were having a little side conversation while she was just talking.
Yeah.
Because, but they were both professional, very stoic, and that was it. And I their question made perfect sense. They were like, what do you want out of this?
Right.
Do you want to go to court and blah, 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 and have this go on forever? I was like, hell no. And he's like, he said, do you want it to end? And I was like, I want it to end.
Right.
And that's when he said the protection, what's it called?
Protection order.
Thank God I fucking sent it to myself. I need a protection-y thing, a shield. I need a bubble around me to protect myself.
Basically, it'll turn into a restraining order.
It would turn into a restraining order, I imagine. Yeah. But
to where, if he even sets foot on this property, he's
that's already,
No, if he even sets foot on the property, he is arrested.
Oh, that's true.
So, even if he was out here talking to us.
But, the cop said, he can just keep sending minions, you know what I mean? Or, no, that's what you said. You said he just keeps sending minions, because he can sit back and just relax and be like, sure, go ahead, mess with this poor dude who's done nothing wrong, except for get rid of toxic-ass people.
Right.
I mean, dude. I'm trying to better my life, and I got little speed bumps, intentionally trying to slow me down.
In his eyes, he doesn't see it.
Oh, no, he sees it as I've somehow hurt him.
Well, right, but in terms of that, he doesn't see that you're trying to improve because he's not around you as much, but at the same time, you had to get rid of him because there's really
He was hindering me from improving.
Right.
And he's screaming the N-word out my window. Man, come on. That alone is like, no. Get out. That alone.
Right.
Like I said, I won't judge you for being friends with him. I just don't understand why you're friends with him. It's okay. Hey, to each their own. But, nah, man, that kind of behavior is, I don't need that behavior around me anymore. When I stopped my drinking, it was like a light turned on, and I looked at everything differently, which created this podcast. You and I both started looking at life differently.
Right.
And it took me to not drink. It took you to have a voice and stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And believe in yourself. And now here we are trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with the universe.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
my month of January, I've seen signs where I'm like, yeah, January, is going to be a very good month for me, and it's turning out great.
It's already been a wonderful month.
I
It
got
really
my muffler
has.
this week, so as long as we can get that up
Think-
as soon
think
as
about this
possible,
shit.
I could
Dude.
have it done by before January.
Think about this. We got the tables, which is more a me thing than a you thing. I got that,
Right.
but it will benefit both of us. We got, let's see, we got your chair. We got a random podcast in. We got, what else? Work has been going, well, I'm doing, you'll be fine, but it's going slower than I'm sure
Right,
you'd like.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got lucky on Monday. Whoa. But I walked into it, dude. You know that whole spirituality thing you're talking about? I walked into, actually it was Sunday night. Because we were off still Sunday.
Right.
And I just had a feeling. I was playing GTA Online and I just felt really good. And then I switched over to Hearthstone and I was winning games and I just kept feeling this.
I felt really
Let me
good.
finish this because it totally. And I said, you know what, dude? I know tomorrow's gonna be a dope ass day at work.
Yeah,
And
I
then
had
all
the
of a
same
sudden
feeling
it
too.
was.
I had the same feeling too, because
Yeah.
that same day I made 5 same. Well, it's I set
8.
6.
I got 8 that day.
I
8 appointments, and they all went through, including an extra one that was from last week.
Yeah, I had some extra ones come in, and then I also think I made 5 same day, next day sets. That's when I got the bonus from my coach, and unintentional bonus.
Yeah, right. She was just like, "Let me send you directly $5, please."
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, where's my fucking money? Yeah, seriously, I'm gonna talk to my coach about that tomorrow. The fact that I'm not even eligible because they haven't fixed my call criteria. I haven't been eligible for monthly bonuses.
So you're
So I could have been getting bonuses every month, and I just haven't even realized I'm not.
well when you reach a certain call percentage.
Yeah, but I know for a fact that it's probably. Well, think about it. My last time it was October 14th, the last recorded, and my lowest was 67%. My highest was 93%.
Yeah.
You think I'm better since then?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm at 98%.
Exactly.
I went from technically I started out 76%. I made a 76. I went from 76% to 90%, which was a big jump. And then
more of them with work talk. They have no idea what this.
well, and then I went from 90% to 95, and then 95 to 98. But basically, now I'm eligible for the top bonus, which is the 300, which I'm using for my TV that I've been wanting for 5+ years now, that I haven't been able to afford because I've been working a shitty job at Kroger. I was, but I was doing more than basically anyone there. If you counted all the physical work I had to do, which is tough on my body because of my back and knees, the pain I go through and everything. So it was worse for me doing those simple things all the time. And so I was like, well, I'm not really getting any benefit from this. Every check I get, I have to spend most of it just to transport to work, just to survive. And I'm not even saving any money. And then after my mom charges me rent, it's like, okay, there's no fucking point. Then I'm paying loans on top of that. With this job, I can afford my loans. I can afford rent to move out. I even have extra money that I can throw around if I want to. There's weeks where I just hold on to it.
Yeah, and now
put it
I'm
back-
stuck. Yeah. I'm stuck now, having
there'll be some weeks where I save the money that I maybe could have spent, and the next week I just put that in savings.
So because I don't think we talked about this on the podcast, but because I made a stupid, probably because I was still drinking at the time, but I made a really dumbass mistake on a W-2 form, which apparently I am married and have children, and I didn't pay any fucking federal income tax. Or it didn't get taken out of my paycheck, rather. So I'm going to owe the government come, March or April? I think it's due by April or some shit. But
Get my taxes right when I move in.
So you're going to get your taxes when you move in, and so every fucking penny right now, every Friday, like I told you, every Friday, first thing I do when I wake up, usually 5 a.m., I pay, rent, car, all the good stuff. And then I go out later that day, I get my vape, I get the Delta 8, I, get my groceries, and then that's all I can do now.
Right.
I'm good for the week. It takes about maybe $150 for the shopping, and then I'm not going to talk about my personal expenses, but
Me, it's
But
like,
then it's like, but now I have everything left over now. I have to save. I can't touch it.
right.
I'm not allowed to touch that shit till I pay off that federal
Yeah,
income tax.
the only time I touched my savings was literally when I transferred the balance to send the deposit. That's the only time. I was like,
Yeah.
and I still have plenty left over to where when I start saving
Yeah,
again,
you're really good at
it's-
saving money. That's for sure.
It's going to build up to where I will
The
have
number startled me.
I will have close to the amount I would need to move out in
But
general.
your brother seems to be on a
He's-
level beyond that,
Surprisingly, he has the same amount that I just got.
but
Well,
at a younger age.
But here's the thing, right? But he also has a job where he works at a pizza place. Since he doesn't have any expenses, he saves half of his check.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he would even work later. He would intentionally tell the boss, "I want to stay here later.
You know, I'm not gonna.
Stay past whatever time they'd give him,
Yeah.
because it may not be full time because he is in high school.
Sure.
But he would work the hours he would get scheduled, and they would allow him, even though it's not technically allowed, to work later, and he'd get extra money.
No, so I will say this. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been great at saving money. My parents, my entire life, they have been trying. You heard my mom when she was lecturing me when you were here.
Right.
She was like, "You need to listen to Ben, Anthony." But I've always just been, for whatever reason, it's like I'll save and save and save, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, "Oh, why not buy something?" You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. But now I'm really glad that this tax thing happened, because I kind of learned by fucking up. That's kind of my MO. Get a DUI, never drink and drive again. Check.
Right.
You know, hallucinate from alcohol. Dude, get control of your shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when this happened, I realized, holy fuck, dude, this is why it's so important that you save. I need that slap in the face, that slap on the wrist saying,
Right.
hey, guess what? Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Well, I said, well, look, I'm moving out, so that means I'd be responsible for more than what I was paying. And of course, my parents reminded me of that, and I said, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm at that age to where it's like, I just need to do
Why
it.
doesn't she want you to succeed?
No, it's not the fact that she doesn't want me to succeed. It's the fact
She
that
doesn't think you can?
she will, part of that, because she was like, oh, well,
You mentioned that once.
because
I'm wondering.
she said, you have the union with Kroger, you're safe.
Oh, that's
I'm
what
like,
she did
yeah,
tell me.
Mom, I'm safe, but I'm making $400 checks a week. I can barely afford living here.
On cheap ass nothing, yeah.
On cheap ass rent, and you even lowered my rent, and I still can barely afford it,
Yeah.
and I'm not even saving anything. And then as soon as I got this new job, it was like,
Boom.
oh,
Lights clicked on.
So now
yeah.
I at least save $200 out of my check a week.
That's sick. Yeah, and that's usually, for me, it's about...
But see, I was planning that if
never mind, a little more,
I was
but
planning that if I were to have to pay the rent like once a month, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you
divided-
were planning,
So I'm such in practice to where even though I'll be paying $187 whatever
A week. So how do you, by the way, you never really, I never asked you this, but now that you've heard my mom's side, you've heard my side, you've had time to think about it yourself, how do you feel about paying each week instead of paying per month?
That actually works, because then it's like I know how much money I have. Because yeah, I might save a little less, but I'll be like, okay, I have this money for.
There you go, baby.
Because really, for me,
Yeah.
my expenses, since I barely go through Delta 8, I've had the same.
I know!
I've had the same
Look
cartridge.
at this! I just
for-
opened this like 3
Okay.
days ago. I was supposed to, I
I've-
got this 2 weeks ago.
I've had the same cartridge for almost 2 months, going on. It will be 3 months at the end of January, and I bought a new one just in case because I thought I was running out. So if it takes me one little cartridge 3 months, I would only have to pay $20 every 3 months, and then my nicotine that I use during the day for daytime pain and all that stuff. That's anywhere.
I don't know if nicotine helps with pain. Do
It
you
does.
believe that?
It numbs my back.
Interesting.
It relaxes my back.
I never knew that was something. I'll look it up, but yeah.
But with that, it would be maybe every 2 weeks to a month, $20, which is not bad. So
Yeah.
really, in total, I'm spending not even that much money.
Because when you go out and like when you shop like I do, like I said, I do everything each week, so I know how much money I have left over.
Right.
And then when I'm at the vape store, and I'm looking down in my pockets, and I'm like, bruh, I still have 2 vapes, and I still have my Delta pen. Looking like I'm gonna go out and buy another one on Friday, no doubt, just because. But look at that.
Yeah.
It's just about, like, it's almost full. And it's like, I'm going to be there. I'll be like, do I really need to buy this? But it's like, fuck it. Why not? But as it builds up, I realize there's some weeks, I've had weeks already where all I do is pay rent and shit. I already have groceries because I've already built up, like,
Right.
I already have my
But
weed.
see, I'm already ahead of you to where I know how much I need exactly, and I know how long it takes. So, like, I'm glad I don't have to go every week to get a new cartridge.
Oh, I don't have to. I choose to.
Mine's now going to probably 3
I smoke
months.
more than you too.
Right, but mine's
Yeah.
probably going to be once every 3 months, which is
that's
affordable,
nice.
and it's even half as
And
much.
now you're gonna fucking chauffeur instead of fucking like I offered. I said I'd drive you, but now and your bike's coming, so that's cool. But
Right.
like now you don't have to waste all that fucking. I wonder
Oh, yeah,
how much
and-
money you're gonna be saving from
So
Uber rides.
I
and
could
shit.
still go on long ass rides on that because it's 1 gallon. I only have to spend
Oh, it's only a gallon?
Only 1 gallon, but I can go 200 miles on 1
Interesting.
gallon of gas. So I put premium in that bitch because it's a smaller engine.
Is premium good for it?
Yeah,
then?
yeah, and actually that's the
okay.
fuel that it's supposed to take. But
Oh,
it's a
okay,
smaller engine, and so if you use
Cool.
unleaded, it'll clog the engine.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to use premium, but also I've noticed when I switched to premium, because at first I was using unleaded, just starting out. Like, oh no. So then I use.
Hey man, it's cheap.
So I
cheap,
weaned
quote
it.
unquote.
Here's what I did. I weaned it from the bike. So I started out unleaded because I didn't know, and then when it said premium, I did a tank of mid grade. So what I did was I waited until I was like on almost E with the unleaded.
Yeah.
Put straight mid grade in there.
Oh, you actually
Burn
experimented
through,
with it.
Burn through the mid grade.
Yeah.
It worked better. And then when that mid grade, the half mid grade, half unleaded,
Whatever. Yeah.
went away, I did a full tank
did
of
a
mid
full-
grade,
yeah.
and then after that entire mid graded tank went, I switched straight to premium, and that thing, the torque is better. I have better speed control because you do need to go fast on a motorbike to.
That's why the speed limits
Yeah.
don't really apply. The
Right.
speed limits are
To-
different for motorcycles.
to
They don't
even-
get pulled over for going like 5 miles over
Right.
them because they need to keep a certain
right,
speed
because
to
you
stay
need
upright.
You need to go faster to
Yeah,
stay upright.
yeah,
But mine's
yeah.
a 3-wheeler, so it's way balanced.
I remember someone teaching
But
me
at
that.
the same time, me is just going fast enough to keep up with traffic. Because
Yeah.
if there's too much wind and I'm going 35
yeah, I didn't
speed
even think
limit,
about the wind.
I can go.
Just fly away.
I was
shit,
actually
dude.
technically speeding in a school zone, and a cop passed me.
Ah!
Cop was behind me, saw me driving, and I thought he was going to pull me over. So I start slowing down, and he just does this. He goes, signal to go. He goes,
Yeah, that happened to me on the freeway when I first moved here.
Yeah.
I was nervous because I fucked up. We might have talked about this. I'm not sure, but I was in the very left lane, and I didn't know. I've never known legitimately that is a passing lane. I just thought, all right, it's a lane that everyone speeds in, and so a cop is right behind me, and I'm right next to a semi, or what you guys motherfucking call tractor trailers, fucking rednecks.
I don't call him tractor trailer.
Yeah, actually, so far I haven't heard anyone. Anyway, so a cop was behind me, but I was stuck next to a semi, so I was like, okay, fuck, do I speed, break the speed limit, and pass the truck,
Right.
or do I follow the speed limit? And so I followed the speed limit, thinking I'm gonna be a good boy, and the cop behind me turned on the that
Yeah.
annoying and I was like, so I put my arm out and I waved at him. I was like, I got you, and I fucking floored it, got in front of the semi, went around the semi, and that cop was gone, dude. He was just he had somewhere to be, but that's when I learned that there is such thing as a passing lane. Yeah, whoops.
Well, I guess it was a double lane that I was on for the school zone because people were going back and forth. But yeah, I was just like, that cop was behind me, and on my plate it does have a handicap thing on there, only because I told the bureau that I was diabetic.
I have a
So
story
they
for
do
you.
have a handicap thing on my license plate, which I do kind of like because I was technically first starting out driving, and also it keeps people away from you, especially when you're on a bike. They stay a little farther than they should, even though I know how to drive it. I'm not going to hurt anybody. It's just nice because even cops are nicer to you. Like
Yeah.
they'll pass me.
Well,
They will.
yeah.
I mean, maybe because I'm on a bike, but they'll see that plate and be like, "He's no bother. Just go."
What's on the plate? Oh, the handicap.
Yeah,
the
that's
handicap.
like-
They're like, oh, this.
what's
Oh, that's
nice-
like, you fucking brought this up to me
But
one time.
what's
I'm like,
nice-
you use
yeah.
your retardation to be like, I'm sorry.
No,
I'll
it's
sit
not
there.
because of Asperger's. Asperger's are not really retarded. It's autism. You're retarded.
Yeah, but
Different
so you're-
degrees.
Yeah, but you don't. Asperger just doesn't exist anymore. It's just the
Yeah, I
spectrum.
know. I hate how they changed. The reason
Yeah,
why
it's
they
the
changed
spectrum
it
of
was
autism.
because the scientists that Asperger's is named after
Uh-huh.
used to torture people with Asperger's to try to or
Really?
not torture them, but experiment on them.
Experiment on- yeah, yeah.
And so they changed it, and I was like, but Asperger's is not autism.
No, so a spectrum makes more sense
Right,
because
it
the
does.
degree is so
But-
varying.
but I believe it should be separate because it's
I like saying it's like, dude, I'm on the spectrum. Like, chill, I'm on the spectrum. It's that simple. It's like,
Okay.
because that way, think about it. It's like,
easier to-
like, cut me some slack. I'm somewhere on that spectrum. Like, you know, you
Okay,
could be like,
yeah.
you're highly functioning. You're
Right.
basically fucking normal. I catch like certain things every now and then, but it's nothing like where Zach is just completely incompetent. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So and then there's people like Jose who's highly successful, but a little awkward, like
Right.
socially. So I would say the spectrum is really an accurate way to put it because it's definitely all the same thing. We acknowledge that, but it's like to what degree?
yeah.
And again, a lot of it does come from how much do you care to become less? Because the spectrum, you could be, dude. I bet you started at one point, and as you've evolved and grown and learned, you've become less
Yeah.
on that. You know. So it can. That's what's so interesting about it is it's so new to everyone. It's like
See, mine
that's why
was-
we used
mine
to
was
just
so-
say, oh, it's retarded. It's like
Mine was
what?
so mild to where like if I brought it up to you, you'd know. If you interacted with
I-
me, you may not pick up on it.
I pick up on those, but that's because I've been surrounded by
Right,
it my
yeah.
entire life. But like I told you from the beginning, I said, but if I wasn't surrounded by it, sure, you're totally fucking normal. Like really, you maintain normal conversations. Apparently, we entertain one people at a time on a podcast.
Right.
But someone's listening. No, but it's just like so. No, I prefer Spectrum makes sense. If was it offensive when it changed? Is that how you see it?
Yeah,
Like,
I think at first, but
Okay.
then I've gotten used to
like
it.
I see your point. I see
Yeah.
where you're coming from. It's like, well, fuck you. I'm not stupid. I'm just Asperger's. I'm not autistic. Like I see that. Like you had a special word for a not as severe situation. But
Because I mean, even the paperwork when they diagnosed me says Asperger's, so it's like if you say you're on the spectrum, people automatically think, "Oh, he's autistic."
you are.
But I mean,
autistic.
yes, but they
Yeah.
think it's the
They immediately think. Yeah. So I wonder how similar, because you know what I noticed. So either I've seen a lot less of Down syndrome over time,
Yeah.
or do you think there's any relation? Now we are not doctors, we are not scientists, biologists, or Do you think there's any kind of relationship between? And I could look it up, but it's just more fun to talk about. Any relationship between Down syndrome and autism?
let's see here. I think they so it can affect similar chromosomes.
I'm gonna look it up while we discuss it. Actually, fuck it.
I think, but
I've never thought about this.
I don't think
before.
there's really any direct relationship between them. I mean, you could get them both at the same time and have a little bit of Down syndrome and Asperger's, sure. But
Someone's asked before. Excellent. No, go on. Keep
but
going.
I don't think they're really that related.
Well, I think you might be right. So here's similarities, differences. Here's there's a mild understood social cues. Oh, that's right. Because Down syndrome, you can be incredibly good at socializing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can be, dude. There's like celebrities who, like on the Howard Stern show. I think Beetlejuice has Down syndrome,
Okay.
and he's a charming little shithead.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he knows what he's doing,
and
man.
I think with celebrities with
Here, I'll look up Beetlejuice
He-
just to give you an
with,
idea.
with celebrities who have Down syndrome, that's also good because I've noticed even people who are full on Down syndrome, some of them are popular. Some of them
I wonder if it is Down.
are gaining social media status, which is great for any person who has
I
any
put
type
question mark.
of any type of condition like that because
Oh no, he
they-
has something called.
they are different from us, but
Oh no, he doesn't
know,
have Down syndrome.
they shouldn't be treated like that, and they should be allowed to be out in Hollywood if that's what they want.
Hang on, I just want to clarify so I don't offend
Oh.
anyone. He doesn't have Down syndrome. It's called microcephaly, a condition that caused his small head relative to his small body because he also has dwarfism. So I've only heard him on the radio, but the way he talks, I kind of thought maybe it was Down syndrome. I'm wrong. Intellectual. Oh, and he does have an intellectual disability. Oh, interesting. So bad example, but I did just look up if there were connections or similarities, differences. Here we go. Autism and Down syndrome. Understanding conditions. So, autism spectrum disorder is a neurodevelopmental difference that can affect a person's abilities in language, social interaction, and behavior. People with ASD, okay, Present. I love how many fucking acronyms I have to remember in
Yeah,
my life.
now we have to change it to ASD.
Jesus Christ, seriously, dude, just say autism. Shut the hell up. Or spectrum, seriously. Present with a broad range of traits and community. Okay, blah blah blah. Centers of disease concern. I don't care. Down syndrome is a chromosomal condition. It's the most common genetic disorder in the United States. Affecting about 1 in 700 babies born. Interesting. Medical testing, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't answer my question. Causes of both, don't care. Actually, I am curious. Causes. I want to know about causes for autism. Multiple factors can contribute to the cause of autism, including genetics, both gene mutations and family history.
Yeah, actually, because my dad told me that
He's on the spectrum,
he's
right?
on the spectrum, and so is my mom.
Okay, well then double up on that wonderful treat. Then we got environment.
See, even though they both have it, I was lucky. I'm mild. You would think like, okay, if they both have it, you could be.
I haven't got. All I know is my interaction with your mom. Can I tell them what your mom said to me? First time I ever met her.
Because I will let you know when I was there listening to it, even I got a little upset.
I know you got uncomfortable. That's why you chimed in.
Yeah.
I could hear it in your voice. You're like trying to cut in and be like, let's make light of this.
Right.
But like, and I felt uncomfortable with you. I was like, sorry, Ben, don't feel uncomfortable. Don't worry about it. It's not you, it's her. But like, so I walk in the house to help Ben pack up, Mr. Producer, promoting producer. There we go. To, take shit out and pack it up. And I finally got to meet his mom. Oh, charming as ever. I simply said to her, and she goes, oh, hi, you must be Anthony. I said, yes, I am. And I said, you must be excited that I'm taking your son off your hands. And she simply said, without giggling or smiling or just kidding, I love my son. She said, hang on. What did she say?
She's like,
yeah, I wish you could have done it sooner. And so I kind of paused and I was just like, and then Ben, as uncomfortable as a son should be, chimed in and said, we would have done it sooner, but someone was living there. And I said, yeah, something awful or someone awful. And then that was my entire interaction with that piece of shit who's been holding this dude back. So even I thought, wow. And I told my mother. And what did she say with her fucking Susan fucking voice? She said, oh my God. Oh my God.
It's like, yeah, I'm here till I'm 25, but if you notice, Mom, when I moved out of college, you didn't even give me a grace period to save money. She was like, immediately, she's like, you moved away from college? Okay,
and
rent
she
time.
was trying to sell you the fucking Kruger or whatever.
The Keurig.
Whatever the hell. How'd that pan out?
I don't know yet.
Oh, fucking
God. I'll probably find out if it's a birthday present or a present for moving out.
B-word to the, what's the right exponential? There you go. B-word to the exponential power. She just gets worse and worse as time goes on.
Oh yeah, guess what? So apparently, I played this on them because my mom was like, "Hey, by the way, when you move out, you need to keep that lock on your door." And I go, "Mom, I bought that lock with my own money.
Yeah.
I sent you the money for it." And I go, "What? So the old lock you don't have anymore?" And they said yes. And I go, "Well, if you want to keep it, you're gonna have to pay me for it." And then my stepdad goes. He blurts out randomly to try to shut her down. He goes, "Okay, yeah, we'll pay you for it." I'm like,
"No,
thank you."
Wait, really?
Yeah, because I'll.
I thought you were gonna, because I thought you said you wanted.
Well,
to lock
I wanted
on
to,
your door.
but to avoid anything, I'll just be like, "Yeah,
fuck it, take the money."
Yeah, just take the money.
Fuck it, yeah, because you don't need a lock here.
Right.
If you're not here, I got eyes on this fucking house at all times.
Right.
Especially after, dude,
well,
it
has a lock too.
After
so.
M fucking throws my address out to the neighborhood.
Well, the thing has a lock too, so.
Oh no, I know. There's no way. I mean, he doesn't even know the code.
No, I mean my room does. The room.
Yeah, from the inside. But
right.
if you actually installed a lock, it would have it from. So if you left, you could always lock your door. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
If you were gone for a week and whatever. But no, I'm just saying, like, whatever. What the fuck were we talking about, dude? We're going all over the place. I'm having fun though. I did not expect all of this. Oh, do you ever want to? Would you like to hear of the legend of Blackfoot? Okay. Yeah, so I had a memory come up today. It's funny. Ever since I stopped drinking, it's like all these memories start flying back in my head, and they're awesome. Like I've lived a very fulfilled life. Like crazy shit has happened. But and I can only assume, since it was more than half my life, alcohol must have played a large role in all of it. But the legend of Blackfoot started in college. It's just a small story, but you ever see like those hippy dippy people, even in today's society, where they just never wear shoes and they're always clearly they haven't showered, they got hairy armpits. Very stereotype, but very true culture that does exist.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, I lived in the Bay Area of California, aka where is San Francisco? Oh, right around the corner.
Right.
So very, very liberal already. You know what I mean? So this kind of thing was just normal, but never in your face, and I mean that literally. So there was this girl in our physics class, and I sat next to Forrest and some other dude named Ricky. And there's this girl that would always, she'd be behind us sitting with her friends. But she never, this is that style. The hairy armpits, the weird clothes, the kind of free and doop, like whatever. But never wears shoes. All around campus, all day, every day. Oh boy. So here's the problem. She loved to push or plant her feet up on the desk in front of her. And guess who happened to be sitting right in front of her?
You.
Me. And Anthony, well, Forrest, his first name was actually Forrest. His middle name was Anthony, but so he went by Anthony. But there was 3 Anthonys that we knew there, so we were just like, all right, look, you're Erdman, you're Forrest, or you'll be Anthony, whatever. But, so, what was I going to say? So it just got to the point where I was disgusted by it. They could tell I was disgusted by it. And then this dude, Ricky, would just started making like a nature documentary out of it. So we'd be sitting together and we'd be sitting in like this, all crowded together. And he'd be like, watch closely as the legendary Blackfoot approaches the watering hole. And she'd be walking to her desk, you know, and we're just sitting there snickering and like huddled in. Ah, yes, she looks around, weary of predator. As she sees that comfort can pursue, she plants her legs in her favorite position behind Anthony's head. So it got so bad, though. Like, as funny as it was so disgusting. I don't know if it was me. I'm sure I brought it up. One of us brought it up to the professor. I can't remember who. But the professor straight up had to ask her, you cannot put your feet up. If you're not going to wear shoes, fine. But you cannot be putting your feet up on the desk. That is not appropriate. And we called her Blackfoot. Gee, I wonder why. Because of all the dirt and shit she's been collecting for God knows how long. I mean, I understand a foot fetish, but can you imagine putting those toes in your mouth? Oh my God, you're going to get septic, right? You know what I mean? Like, okay. Dude, I feel like cancer coming on just thinking about it, you know what I mean? No, but seriously, like, so that was the legend of Blackfoot. You got any fun college stories?
Oh yeah, I'd say my first frat party I went to.
I've never been to a frat party.
So this was, I believe I was a freshman in college, and so I went to the summer program at the same college where you could do classes early.
Sure.
And kind of get your foot in the door. You wouldn't have a class every day. You might have it a couple times a week and have like the rest of the week off or something like that. But it'd be spaced out to kind of a college schedule, and you'd take like 2 or 3 classes, not
kind of like taking summer courses.
Yeah,
it's kind of just
so you would take 2 to 3 classes that, you know, so it wouldn't be too much. And so I did like mostly my required ones, like a writing one and an English one and a math one. But anyway, I'm doing this, and you know, the summer program, they made us go out and like do stuff even when we had homework. I go, no, I got fucking homework to do. I'm staying in, because guess what would happen? We'd go out, get back late, I'd do my homework, be up till 3 a.m., go to bed, wake up at fucking 7 a.m., go to class, and it's like, I was so tired I couldn't even focus. And I was like, if I have homework, I'm not going, sorry.
That scares me, because I'm going back to school. I don't know if I'm going to be able to manage that with work.
And everyone agreed, and most of us were calling out. We're like, look, I can't go out, I got homework. And eventually these
What
stupid
were they making? What do you mean go out? What do you mean they're
like
making you go out?
they would make us go on required activities. So
like what? Like describe them.
So like one luckily was on one of our days off where we'd have to go volunteer or whatever, which was fine.
Like
but,
what did you do?
we had to well, I don't know if it was volunteering. It was just like activities. Like
okay.
One time we walked around downtown and went to like a ice cream place or whatever, which was fun. But some would be like you'd go to a movie after class and they think they gave you enough time to do your homework even though it's only an hour, but you got math homework.
Well, let me get this straight. They're forcing you to quote unquote have fun when your priorities should be like let me focus
because
on
they wanted I guess to try to get you in the mood to where you could balance both, but I'm like right now I'm barely doing any classes, why would I even go out? You know, because you're either tired.
Let me evaluate this first before I step into a movie theater.
So then after that, so during that time I was going to like little parties, but one of my friends in college actually got to know them and said, "Hey, I have a friend.
This is what we're talking
I have a friend who wants to possibly join the frat, or just wants to hang out with me. Can I bring him over?"
Yeah.
And so he introduced me when we were in college officially, and then we met up. And basically, I remember my first frat party. I got drunk and high as fuck, but it was I shotgunned beers for the first time, which was interesting, fun. But, of course, I knew this wasn't the place for me because they were excited for the fact that I cleared the beer without leaving a drop of it in there. They're like, "Oh, my God, you did so well your first time. You want another one?" I'm like, "Oh, okay.
What do I win?
What, right? Another beer!" And so that was the first time I actually blacked out.
Really? Yeah. I'm lucky. I don't remember the last time I blacked out.
Luckily, nothing really happened except I guess I kind of threw a cold beer at one of the, like, presidents of the frat or something. But luckily, when we talked afterwards, they're like, "Okay, look, we get it. You just started drinking."
Yeah, so you were a freshman. That's right. You said that. Yeah.
They're like, "Look, we get it. You just started drinking. Well, we won't hold it against you. Just
don't do it again." Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Basically, all they said was, as long as you apologize, you should be fine. Of course, I apologized. I was like, he understood. He's like, just don't do it again.
No, but do you see the connection between that story and your no, it's a parallel because that happened going through my situation. You will see parallels where it's like, shit, I should have caught this sooner.
Right.
Yeah. But no, it's interesting. Go ahead. Yeah.
And then after that happened, they were all into me joining and whatever. But then their rush week they had.
What is rush week?
Basically,
I never was a part of a frat.
Basically, what they do is they try to make you like. So they'll invite you to parties all the time, but all you're doing is partying with them and trying to get to know them. But it's like I had homework. I had a bunch of homework to do. I had priorities. I'm not here to party at a frat. I'm here to do my work. And they told me that was okay, but I never had a chance to hang out with them. And then it was just like, okay, you know what? I'm done. Plus, they had like 12 rape charges or supposed rape charges against them. And I was like, I don't want to be affiliated with
Pedophilated.
I don't want to be affiliated with this group when they have rape charges against them.
No, so you remember? I don't know if you guys heard the story out here, but it was really big in California. Do you remember Chico State in California? They had a frat who was like, all right, well, we can't let you drink, so you need to drink water. You need to chug water. Mm-hmm. And a kid died from drowning, essentially. Is I think how it's
water toxicity.
Water tox. I think and that was so big on the news. And it turns out my friend Anthony Tosti, who by the way, a startup actor, he's pretty decent. He's got an IMDb. But Anthony Tosti was my roommate at St. Mary's for a while, college, and he had this tattoo on his leg, or I can't remember where it was. I think it was on his leg. And I was like, cool, what's that? And he's like, oh, every one of our frat bros or brothers got the same tattoo in the same spot for a kid that died in our frat. And I was like, oh shit, what happened? And he goes, well, you might have heard of it. And then he told that story. I'm like, what the fuck? You were in that frat? He's like, yeah, dude. Because he was in Chico State, but he kind of got kicked out. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a long story. He went to medical school, but it was like some Jamaican medical school. Then he came to St. Mary's. Yeah, it's like he didn't really know what the fuck he was doing. I think he's doing all right now, and he definitely graduated, and he's a big, tough, scary-ass motherfucker. I'm glad we're on the same page. Like, damn, that dude scares me. But yeah, he was in that frat, and it was just like, oh, shit. They died from water toxicity. Yeah, that's weird.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to distract the 0 people listening right now with some random thoughts. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, today was pretty coincidental. Everything just kind of landed in our lap.
I thought I didn't have my keys to get into my room.
Keys to get into your
'Cause
room.
my door that or my lock that I have on my door, I can lock from the outside, so I lock it every time I leave the house.
Uh-huh.
Because I know my sister goes into rooms
Dude,
because
that's so
she
fucked up that someone
my sister-
still does that.
My sister would go into my brother's room and steal his cash because he would get
Oh,
like
wow.
one time he got a bunch of birthday
Ooh.
money and then suddenly $20 went missing.
Oh.
And then because we couldn't prove it, and because all she had to say to my mother, I didn't do it. And
I think the worst I ever did was when I was in high school. I didn't really have, my dad wouldn't really let me work per se. He said I needed to focus on school. My mom wanted me to work, but my dad really just put his, fist down and was like, nah, he needs to focus on school. I agree with my mom, but it's okay. Shit happens. Life goes on. You learn a lot on the way. But I wasn't making any money, so it was like, okay, well, I want to go have fun with Chris and Nick, but I don't have any money. Can I borrow some money? Sometimes they'd be like, no, Anthony, we gave you $20 last week. And it's like, all right, clearly you don't know. It doesn't make, it's like, it doesn't mean a lot. I would go, I'm dead on saying this live on a fucking podcast. I probably took easily over $300 or $400 over a few years where I'd just go in randomly, a month here, 3 months there. I'd take a 20 out of my mom's wallet because they liked having cash, and they had so much cash that I'd just be like, oh, they won't even notice. But I think they did eventually notice because I think my brother was also doing it because I noticed my plans didn't quite add up.
Oh.
And so eventually they stopped carrying cash. They never accused. They never even brought it up. But I know my mom. She's psychically weird. Like, she just knows shit. She's not always spot on, but when it comes to shit like that, I knew right off the bat. One day I looked in the wallet, there was no cash, and I was like, fuck. Yeah, and the next time I tried again. Next time I looked, there was like $1.25. I was like, fuck. And eventually I was like, nope, this ain't never going to happen. You know what I did after that? I took my dad's credit card information, and I've never paid for World of Warcraft in my life. Well, except for I played it for a month a few months ago. I tried it for a month because I know they brought back, well, they have like legacy servers and then like the current shit. I wanted to go back to the old shit. But I tried it for a month and I paid for it. But that's the only time I've ever paid for World of Warcraft. And I played it since the second expansion. So that was since I was 18 years old. And I played it till 26.
Okay.
Never paid a dime. Not all from my dad's credit card. I used his credit card for about 4 or 5 years. But then when I was out of college and shit, I felt really guilty. So people wanted me to play. I convinced them to pay for it then.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, dude. The power of suggestion and words is right there. All I did was ask. I simply asked and they gave it to me.
I've actually.
I just worded it very,
Now that I've been able to read the room more.
Yeah, there you go.
More naturally.
Yep.
Because, like I said, I've learned all this stuff from spirituality, actually.
Sure. There you go.
But
as long as you learn it, that's all that matters.
Since I've been more in touch with my environment, I guess I should say it's nice because I have control. Like, I recognize when people are like, oh, hey, I can't do this because of this. And then it's like, I'll say something else. And if it works, it works. If not, I get it. And like, I try different things and things end up working out. Sometimes they don't because, certain reasons. But generally, I've been able to get my way more and it's nice. It really is because at my mom's house, I don't really get my way. I kind of I stay by myself. I'm always in my room. I mean, yeah, I'll come down, hang out in spurts, but it's like, I'm not really around downstairs in the public room. But then again, my siblings aren't there. They're always in their room. So I guess it's natural, but it's like, I just don't feel comfortable really being out in a house that I've lived in for, let's see, I'm almost 25. We built the house and moved in when I was 2.
You guys built that house?
My mom, they hired people to
No,
build
but I
it,
mean, that's awesome. So that was their house.
They basically bought the plot of land.
Or is their house.
They
Yeah.
bought the plot of land. The house was built. I was 2 when I guess we moved in there, or I was there. So I'm almost 25, so that's almost about 23 years I've lived there, my entire life. Because even after the divorce, my mom kept the house, but only because my dad allowed her to. My dad said he could have totally taken the house from her, but he didn't want to because, mother, she's going to be probably dealing with the kids more.
Yeah.
Well,
Better, that's smart.
Right.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
a
know,
noble thing to do.
right? And he even told me.
And I do like your dad.
He even told
Is that
me,
the one I met?
Yeah, he even told me during the divorce, he was like, I let her get away with a lot of stuff.
So he's playing. He plays my card. It's like, dude, does it affect me really at all? All right, fine, let it go.
I mean, he
Kind
has
of like this Michael
I
situation.
mean, he has his own house. He got his own house pretty quick. He lived in an apartment for a few years, and then next thing you know, he had a house. Like,
yeah. Well, that's a good recovery right there. That's
and
awesome.
this time he was smart about it during this divorce because he owns the house. So when he divorced his current husband now, he didn't have to worry about the house. That guy just had to move out.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Fuck, I wish I remember. That's why I have this fucking notepad in front of me, and then I just keep forgetting to use it. It's the ADHD fighting the ADHD, bro. My ADHD. I'm like, let me remember that I have ADHD. Fuck, what do I have again? What was I supposed to remember? Yeah, that's why.
Sometimes I have to remember I have Asperger's because there's certain situations where
Me too. I have to remember.
Up,
yeah.
I'll be like, oh wait, no, yeah, I just have Asperger's.
No. I have moments where. Okay, perfect example. I actually I love that you said 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, this is great. But this lady called in. I think I told you about it, but I might as well put it on the podcast. Called me yesterday, and she immediately, you could tell, I knew where it was going. Someone slipped something into my mail, and their name is blah, 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 and it's handwritten. And I said, oh, yeah, that must be one of the consultants in the area that does work there, yeah. And I said, just, you know, and I figured I'm not going to let her sit there and say it was illegal or something, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to cut her off right away and be like, and by the way, just so you know, that does come through the post office from our company. That's just from our local office, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And she goes, oh, thank God, good, because I am so tired of spam mail and all these scams. And so all I did, I said, and this is where, now she totally overreacted to the point where I hung up on her, and this is the first time I've ever hung up on someone in this job, and if you notice, I've still not gotten in trouble, which means I did everything in the right.
Right.
So I simply got excited, so my manic ADHD triggered a bit, and I simply said, yeah, you got it, and that's how I said it. I said, yeah, you got it, you understand, and she goes, whoa, you do not talk to me like that. And so she kept going for a while, and I just finally, I was like, ma'am. And I was like, okay, first of all, I was actually agreeing with everything you were saying. I'm really glad that you see that it's not spam, because that does happen a lot to people. And she goes, well, okay. And again, I already acknowledged in my head, she wants to fight.
Right.
This is a Michael all over it.
Right.
So I'm ready for that. And she goes, and so now I'm thinking she's ready. She's good. And she goes, well, it was just the tone of your voice. The tone of your voice was just unacceptable. And then she just started, well, so the windows, I want to, and I couldn't let it go, dude. I couldn't just stop.
Mm-hmm.
I said, ma'am, I couldn't just shut up. I said, ma'am, real quick, I wasn't giving you a tone of voice. I was simply excited to know that you understood we weren't scamming you. Like, I couldn't just let it go. So I understand right there, that whole ADHD thing right there, I could have just shut up and maybe even got a stupid-ass sale, you know what I mean?
Right.
And she goes, you know what? I don't need to, and this is where she crossed the line. I don't need to put up with your bullshit. Click. I clicked. I didn't even let her finish the word bullshit. I clicked halfway through that word. I was
think
like,
one time I did that,
yeah.
but I did it by accident.
Oh, no!
I thought I did it by accident by hanging up with them, but I didn't do it intentionally. But it was at the right time where they were yelling at me. No.
So back in Verizon, I had a similar, just like that, except I had to call them back.
Oh.
So someone was yelling at me really bad. And who cares what it was about? Usually for Verizon, it's usually like, why am I paying for this? Why is my bill so high? It's like, dude, have you ever looked at it? Are you that really incompetent? There's been I probably took over, oh my God, probably over 5,000 calls while I was there. And maybe 17 of those were legitimately, wow, we fucked up, let's fix this. Now, there are other places where, I'm saying specifically, we fucked up on your bill. Not in other areas where it's like, you know, like,
right.
Oh, let me click this. Okay, now you're not paying for that. Don't worry about it. But where we actually fucked up, because people always call it, why is my bill so high? Well, I don't know. Have you looked at it? Like, do you know what you're paying for? You consented to all of it, but one thing that happened is this guy called in and he was just screaming at me. And I said, sir, please, and this is what I said to him, because it added, like you said, the timing was just so horribly perfect.
Right.
Not good perfect, horribly perfect. So I said, sir, if you keep attacking me personally like this, I can't continue this call. I'm going to have to end the call, but I would love to help you with this situation. It's a pretty standard response. And he goes, no, you motherfucker. And I said, sir, and then I went to click something, and my elbow, just like I've done with these headsets, my elbow hit the mute bar, the end call button, which why the fuck do they put that there? Right. I don't know.
It should be like up here where you can,
No, why is there even an end call button?
True.
I can click it.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually they hang up. But anyway, no one should be worried about touching their side.
Right.
But, so I hit that button. I had to call him back because that's my job.
Right.
So I called him back and I said, sir, I'm so sorry. I tried as fast as I could to get the words in. Like Anthony Erdman on a record line with Verizon Wireless. I just want to let you know, already he's like, you stupid fucking cunt, blah, blah, blah. But at that point, my manager, my super, whatever she was, whatever you call them, every job has different titles, but they're the same thing. My boss came up to me and said, Anthony, you can hang up. Yeah. So.
Well, there was one person who was yelling at me on a call for this job, and I used that exact same thing. I said, look, if you're going to be yelling at me like this, I'm going to have to hang up the call. But I am here to help you. And as soon as I said that, guess what?
They were nice.
I got the sale. No, I got this. He yelled at me. I got the sale, and he apologized.
Yep, because what happens is some people forget this is not their world.
Right.
This is our world. We are in control.
Right.
We are here to help you. But if you want our help, you gotta work with us.
Yeah.
So the minute that a lot of them do exactly, I've seen it, I love when that happens, because then they're just like normal fucking people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've had people who will just yell and be like, take me off the call list, and I go, hold on, you did call me, I do need to take down some information, and then they're like, okay. Most of them have been nice to where it's like, they'll just be like, oh yeah, one guy even reminded me, he's like, do you need information? I was like, oh yes, I need information.
Well, and I just make sure at the end of every call, like, I just straight up say, like, and it does matter because I think I told you about this.
Even I'll issue an apology. I'll be like,
no, never apologize.
No, I don't apologize. What I'm saying is,
you can say I'm sorry that happened,
right,
or like
I would say like, look, I'm sorry that happened.
It happened to you, but never I'm sorry, because you did not do anything. Because then they can immediately say, well, what the fuck, Ben? What did producer do?
I would apologize. I would apologize on behalf of the company, but the way I would say it is like, hey, I'm sorry that happened to you.
You know what I sadly I had to deal with this quite a bit yesterday, but I had a lot of calls coming in where they were like, look, they said they were going to install today. Where are they? A lot of mistakes. Excuse me. Whoa. A lot of mistakes that happened on our end. Mm-hmm. And I literally just said, I'm really sorry that happened to you. It should not happen that way. We do pride ourselves on our efficiency, on how much we care about our customers. I don't know what happened that day, but let's go ahead and take care of it. And instead of being angry, they usually are just like, you just need to calmly talk to them. And then at the end of every call, no matter if they're yelling or not, and there's that one lady I'll never forget that was shocked by this. Because she was kind of frustrated. She wasn't hostile, but she was frustrated the whole call, and I could tell. But at the end of the call, and she could tell that maybe she was pushing my buttons, but I don't get buttons pushed that easily. It took a Zach to get my buttons pushed.
Right.
And so that's nothing. Someone on the phone, like, please, come on, talk to me. Give me the best you got. But, so, I told her at the end of the call, like I tell everyone, I said, listen, you have a wonderful day. And she goes, what? You too. And she paused, like, I could just hear it playing out in her head. Like, why did he just say that to me? Okay, whoa, thank you very much, you too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Also, you know what I just thought about? Because I mentioned the license plate with my handicap thing on there. I remember when I got my thing registered. Oh, it was my stepdad because he was with me. He was helping me. He goes, also, the reason why we're getting this bike and we want it on the road is because he is on the spectrum, yada, yada, yada. So they do have it on the BMV where it's located in my records that says I have Asperger's. I don't know. I'm just always nervous talking to cops because it's like if they don't know and I do something inadvertently they might think like, you know.
So you're nervous that you might accidentally break the law?
No, not like that, but like.
What do you? No, really, I'm trying to figure it out.
Usually, if you act weird around cops.
Oh, okay. So if you're at this point you're already interacting with the officer,
right?
And you're worried that you might socially be awkward, and they might be like, "Dude, this guy's fucking high."
Yeah. No, not even that. They just be like, "Oh, he's hiding something."
No, you know what you should do, and I'm dead serious. If you ever do get pulled over, just be like, "Officer, just, I'm a little nervous, but I also am on the spectrum, so I'm just gonna give you my ID."
And also,
you know what I mean? Just be straightforward.
I looked into this actually. If they interrogate a person on the spectrum, they have to word their questions in a way.
Well, then you should do what I just said. You gotta just say right away. Just be like, "Look, let's just make sure it's communication 101.
Right.
Let's first make sure we're on the same page."
It was awkward because this was this was.
Oh, you're talking about just today, even.
Today.
Oh, even today.
Because I could tell I was actually.
Oh, but you weren't even the target of it, so I wouldn't even have you bring it up. I wouldn't even, you were fine, dude.
But
if that was you nervous, then I literally told the officer, I said, he's here to calm me down. Because I was super, like, my adrenaline was a little hyped up.
Right.
Like I said, the only time I really interact with cops is if I'm asking for information out of curiosity.
I'm always very cautious. No matter if I'm calling them or they're interacting with me, I'm always cautious because that's how I grew up. That was my interaction with them. I've done my things in my college days to where I had to avoid them. And it's really just conditioning, but it's a safe conditioning because I got out of something way worse that could have happened, and I was just with my friend, and a fucking taillight was broken. Big deal.
You have to. It's kind of sad, but also just smart in general. You have to always protect yourself. I was glad that you were here. If this was going to apparently happen today anyway.
Right.
And just think about that the Jacob theory.
Right.
Your chair shows up on a day it wasn't supposed to. You're here when I need someone for a situation that was going to happen anyway, with cops that we calmly got awesome information from.
Right.
And it led to a really cool podcast. So I would say, A, what the fuck's going on with reality? And B, today was awesome.
I think what it was is because they asked me for my name and stuff.
Oh, that's right. That's what we were talking about. You being nervous and shit, but nah, man. I mean.
But she asked for your number, and she only asked me for my name and birthday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, you know what? I guess if Michael's fighting an imaginary war, I guess the ball's in his court, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if
he wants to continue, I will escalate it. Yeah, exactly. There will be consequences. In fact, I was just watching. I just found out about this new it's fairly new, but it's called a podcast called the Two Cool Moms, and it has Joe Gatto as one of the co-hosts, and he's from Impractical Jokers. And nice job. And they were talking about parenting and shit. Fuck, where was I going with this? Someone wrote in a question about, like, okay, what do I do? Like, I took in this orphan, like, it's a house that takes 16 years old. But he doesn't listen. He doesn't seem to really give a shit. Very selfish, blah, 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 which is normal at 16, definitely. And they're like, well, what do I do? How do I help he's a very sweet kid, but, like, what do I do to, whatever. And Gatto just said, like, look, the way I put it is, like, show them, if they do something, show them that, hey, this hurt me. I counted on you to be here at a certain time, and you let me down, it's okay, but you let me down, and just slowly show them, like, hey, if you do something this way, if they care about you, and they see that they're hurting your feelings, that actually, he's like, okay, that might have a really big impact on them.
Right.
Instead of, like, literally physically slapping them in the wrist, it's like, show them what they're doing to the world.
Right.
And so, like, what the hell was my point? What were you talking about?
Well, I was talking about the cop thing.
Someone Michael needing a slap on the wrist. Right. Like, if he continues, he's going to need that proverbial slap on the wrist where it's like, bro, if you're going to do things like this, there are ramifications. And now, once again, I need to treat him like a child.
Right.
Just like I have with Zach. Thank God it didn't turn out to be true with you. But I have to treat the situation like I'm dealing with an immature child. Like you said, what did you say? He's a child stuck in an adult body?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So I will, I'm not going to lash out, but I'm going to damn sure protect myself.
Yes, Sweden or Sluggy Doug
Sluggy Duggy.
he has the mind of a child, because that's essentially kind of what Asperger's is. It's not just socially. It can be, you are more childlike than you are for your age.
You find certain things funny where it's like,
Right.
why
Right.
is that still funny to you?
And so, because of that, he acts a certain way, but also
Sure.
when you combine the psychopathy with it, then it's like,
So now he doesn't care that he doesn't care.
yeah, because with Asperger's, once you find a way to care, you do it.
You can work with it.
Like when I was younger, I hardly brushed my teeth. And then when I finally learned, I was like, okay, I need to brush my teeth. Like, duh. Same with shower. When you're
My parents would give me so much shit about not brushing my teeth,
it's
bro.
the same thing. It's the same thing with showering.
Jokes on them. Never had a cavity, fuckers.
When you just hit puberty,
Knock on.
when you're a young male who just hits puberty, and you don't really notice those certain body odors that you get, you're not going to shower as often as you did, or
you don't think to shower as often as you should.
Right, you don't think to.
Yeah.
And then
Remember when you were a kid? Did your parents ever say, "Anthony, you're a man now"? Or Ben, you're a man now. Did your parents ever say that? You're a man now. You gotta shower.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a day. You're a man now.
Oh no, never twice a day.
My mom would say that, and I was like, so even as I got older, she'd still throw that at me, and like, yeah, I shower. To be honest, working from home, I would say I shower 3 times a week, unless I'm going out,
they
and
say
then I'll shower that day.
Yeah, they say the normal you should shower 2 to 3 times a week,
Yep.
because you don't need to shower every day.
And you should not shower multiple times a day.
Right.
And that's what I argued to my mom. I showed her why, too.
Because the water strips,
The
strips
oil,
off
like,
your
you
natural,
need, exactly.
it strips off the natural oil from your hair, and it
dries your shit out, like, yeah,
Right.
dude. And I remember this in chemistry. I don't remember a lot from chemistry because I was really bored with it, and I was not this interested in thinking and learning as I was whatever. But chemistry, I did remember this huge like little chapter of class where we were talking about the two different kinds of soaps.
Right.
There's the bar of soap where it's like it dries out your skin, and then there's that like liquid soap that it doesn't dry out your skin, but it doesn't do as good of a job as so you have the dry one that gets rid of everything, and then your skin's dry, your hair might fall out, whatever. But then you have the liquid or the I can't remember the specifics.
Well, when I use the Dr. Squatch soap,
I'm sorry, what?
it's called Dr. Squatch.
Dr. Squatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
thought you said Dr. Squat, like a poop
no,
product.
this one is.
You wanna plug this, Dr. Squatch?
I guess I'm promoting another
All
product.
right, there you go, Doctor Promoter Producer.
But
Doctor, why'd they give you shit? Now you're Doctor Promoter Producer?
Yep.
That was an accident. All right.
I have a doctorate in producing and,
and promoting.
and promoting. So
not in podcasting. We gotta wait for that P. You got producing, promoting. You gotta wait for podcasting. You gotta get promoted to.
I guess you can call me the Triple P.
Oh, you will be eventually.
The Triple P.
Yeah, once we get video going and the new studio mics and shit.
So
hell yeah.
with Dr. Squatch, it's an all natural product. It's made with all natural
herbs and
ingredients. Yeah. So they might use the one that had cow's milk in it, just different things that will
Sounds like one of those products where they're just like, let's see if this fucking works.
Basically, it's made of all natural things, plants, or other maybe like a butter or something. Like one had shea butter in it, or something like that.
And what was the?
But they're different.
Outcome.
It cleans very well. It actually for a man, it exfoliate. I'm not big on exfoliating because
it's a process.
Right. But that's more of a female thing.
I appreciate it. Dude, I had girlfriends who loved doing it to me.
But it was nice because I was using that soap and it would exfoliate everything. Your skin, and your skin never dried out. Because the reason what dries out your skin is those harsh chemicals that you use. Because actually, did you know that liquid soap, those type of products, even bar soaps, are labeled as a detergent? You're bathing in a...
It's poison.
Right, you're bathing in detergent.
On that note,
what that can have effect on your body is, it's been known to decrease men's testosterone level, because you're putting more, because your skin does absorb those chemicals. Your skin is the biggest organ of your body, and that's where if you had
your dermis.
That's where if you had bad, let's say you have bad water with a lot of pollutants, you're gonna absorb a lot of that in your skin. You just are, because it's the largest organ, on your body. And it's a lot of surface area.
It's
and
no different than...
Right.
I'm not gonna get graphic,
but
yes,
you will absorb a lot of that toxicity. So by switching to natural soap, not only does this thing smell really good, you get exfoliated really nicely,
So
and
I see the benefits. So what you're
Right.
saying is, okay, fuck the chemicals. We're just gonna throw in a bunch of shit that, for whatever reason,
right,
does seem to get the dirt and shit off your body, but also it doesn't have the negative side effects of putting fucking toxic chemicals
Yep.
on your skin.
yeah,
So, and this is what I was gonna say is I'm actually in the process of rewatching. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I totally forgot they had a sequel. So someone brought it up in that podcast I'm listening to, and A Christmas Story. Have you ever seen A Christmas
yep,
Story?
Yep.
So I'm rewatching this, and at one point when he drops the F bomb, he has to put a bar of soap in his mouth, and even the mom.
Oh yeah, because they mention like a lot of retardation or something happening because
I'm not surprised. I don't know anything about that, but it's fascinating to see because.
or no, going blind. Yeah, he went blind because
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. There was that's right. They had one of his daydreams.
Right.
He was in a suit and he was blind, and his parents were like, "Oh no, Ralphie, no! If only we didn't punish you." And he's
Right.
smiling, but no. But the point is, the irony of you're punishing someone by putting poison
in their mouth.
in their mouth.
Right.
Just like, hey, you want your baby to sleep? Now I looked it up because.
Oh yeah, because people used to
Put-
give whiskey or
So
alcohol.
hang on. So I looked up. I was watching this. I was like, okay. First of all, it says it came out in '83, so I wasn't even born. That was 5 years before I was born. But this is the cars and the phones. This is not '83. So I was like, I'm gonna guess early 19. What did I guess? I said early 1950s, and I was wrong. It takes place in the 1940s. So I was close, but so the stories my parents would tell me when I was a kid, they'd scare me because they already knew never do it.
Right.
But they'd give these thoughts of, oh, you'll have soap in your mouth, and all these like hints of getting whipped with a belt and shit like that,
Right,
like
right.
callbacks to when they were kids, or a switch, a stick.
Right.
But and then just rub whiskey on their teeth, they'll go right to sleep. You realize they were just poisoning
Yeah.
these children.
Yep.
Quite literally.
Now, if you notice with all the chemicals we put in our food and
Ugh.
just chemicals in general, we've had a rise to so many diseases. Because I think back, I go, if we were cave people, right? How the hell do we not have all these diseases? But it makes sense because as we started to become more efficient and more processing our food, because we thought that would be the better way to do it because food would last longer. It's gotten to the point to where we use these chemicals that are not supposed to be in your body. Now, the initial chemical might be safe, but it's the subchemicals they overlook. Because they might say, oh, this chemical is safe, but when you do more research, at a certain extent, when this chemical is heated, it turns into this. And this is toxic. And so you could have subchemicals in there that are toxic, or the general chemical they're using to, do whatever to clean it or to preserve it is also toxic. And so when you use that on top of all these detergents that you really aren't supposed to be using on your body, and your skin is absorbing a lot of that, like we said, you're putting all this poison in your body, so no wonder you're going to have a lot of diseases. No wonder we have...
I don't think disease.
Disorders, yeah, because
yeah.
it can cause mental disorders. Why do you think there's a huge rise in autism spectrum disorder?
I have
And diabetes especially. The processing food, that's what caused our diabetes epidemic.
So, I actually have a question. Let's see.
That's mostly sugar, but
Yeah. So you were mentioning cavemen, and you're like, well, what did you say? You said.
I said, how would we deal with all those...
How did we deal with? Okay, so my theory would be, now, and this is where my question comes out of. My theory before this question popped into my head, before a new thought, Thought Bubble podcast with us. So a new thought just popped in my mind. My original theory to that would be, all of these disorders already existed, but disease killed people, if you want to, pre-existing life, too fast for us to even understand that it exists.
Right.
Now that leads to, and I do agree completely that what we are ingesting these days, I mean, you just can feel the difference. But
Right.
but I think that does contribute a lot to disorders.
Right.
But now my question for you would be, do you think new disorders have arisen since the ingestion of processed foods?
Yeah.
Or do you think
No,
these things have always been around, but we weren't susceptible
Yeah,
to it
so-
because we weren't
so being diabetic.
eating that.
That is so popular.
taking it in,
that is
smoking it,
yeah,
whatever it
that
is,
is so
drinking it.
That
yeah.
is so popular now.
What is?
Diabetes.
True.
They say.
But you're saying there were never diabetics back
No,
in prehistoric times?
no,
like
there could have been, but
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
But think
That's why
about
I'm
this.
asking, actually.
Actually, no, there wouldn't have been because think about it. We were more active during that time. That kills
But
type
you're-
2 diabetes right then and there.
But what about type 1?
Possibly.
So
I
I'm
would
saying
agree with you, but
genetically,
yeah,
could there
genetically.
have been?
Type 1s, yes, but there was never.
But there could not have been. If they were
Right.
active, they're
right.
fine.
Now there could have been some.
Some people,
Right.
maybe a fat,
There-
fat caveman.
There could have been some.
Sluggy Dougie.
There could have been type 2s, yes, but it would have been controlled because you're active, you're burning your calories, your body's
Or
using.
they just die.
But
no,
also-
really, like, you know what I
right.
mean? Like,
But
you
also
would kill
what-
them real fast.
Right, but also what would give a more rise to type 2 is sugar. The only sugar source we
And
had
they
back
didn't
then.
even have-
No, we did natural sugar. Sugar's in a lot of fruit.
What I was
Yeah.
about to say is we didn't ever find sugar.
Right.
Yeah.
We
So-
didn't have that fake sugar.
So they had sugar cane, they had
Right.
corn, they had
Right.
plant fruits.
Since
that-
it was
yeah.
natural, and they probably only ingested it every now and
Not
again.
that much.
Because
It's a
actually,
snack.
Actually, if you, naturally, fruit is designed to be a dessert. You're not actually supposed to have fruit all the time. That's why it has so much sugar in it. It was designed as like a nice.
You mean
sweet-
when we labeled it as a meal? It
Right.
was I remember because they'd always do. It's always strawberries and chocolate. Even in the those movies where it's all old
right,
school
but
fancy.
What I'm saying is for people back then, even cave people,
it would just be like a snack.
Yeah, it
like
would
I
just
said,
be
it would
like
just
a
be like,
casual
oh
snack.
look, fruit. Okay,
Right.
bye. Like that'd be it. Yeah.
It wouldn't be continuously.
Yeah.
Your diet would have to mainly
Yeah,
come from.
and
meat
then
vegetables.
Sluggy Duggies came along and they were like, I like the taste, let's keep eating it.
Right.
Diabetes.
Yeah. But
So you think it's possible that at some point a lot of these diseases just couldn't exist? Like
Right.
it's possible they could have if we lived long enough, if we
Right.
exposed. So really, it was just. I still say, okay, fine, I agree. Totally. So far, everything you're saying is awesome, and I agree. But I think it's just because they couldn't live long enough. If they lived long enough, they would start seeing different things show up.
well, right for some of the stuff, not everything.
But so that's right there. I like that. So you're saying, yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, at some point, none of this shit was showing up.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when we became more advanced, starting polluting our air even, if you notice, air, water, even though it's not polluted, it's treated with stuff that still affects you.
Yeah.
But you have polluted air, clean water, which has been completely stripped of everything your body needs.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you're putting even more chemicals in your body, or what rather on your body. And we're
Yeah.
covering up those natural scents that you're really supposed to have. Because think about it, cavemen and cave women stunk all the time back then. They might have bathed in the water,
Yeah.
but they never put like
Well, there's like, look, I'm dirty, and I stink, or it's like, you know what I mean?
This is my natural musk, yeah.
when and even it's like, dude, control your natural musk.
because
of
think
course.
about that.
Like, you don't
Our
need
natural
to, like,
musk was how we communicate with the opposite gender. Because your natural musk would have your
I wish I
pheromone
had the
would-
confidence to talk about. I
would-
think I actually did already
because
talk
you know
about my
back then that's how you
second
communicate
puberty,
through
but,
chemical signals. Because you know your natural musk for a man is where your pheromones come from.
Yeah.
Females smell your natural musk back then, and they're like, "That's a man." Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this: as many showers as I'm taking.
But we've been conditioned to clean ourselves. So yes, you live longer because you know you're healthier and all that.
No,
stuff.
so showers barely play. Like showers are important, obviously. It's
Right,
hygiene. Hygiene is important, no doubt. I mean, look at Sluggy Dougie's toes.
Right.
That dude's supposed to have that fungus when he's like 90.
Right.
Okay, or maybe 70. Not 20. How old is he? 26, 25? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's only a year. No, he's a year older than me. 25.
Yeah. So, but
He will be 26.
it's like keeping like okay. Just for an example, look at my feet. Those are clean ass motherfucking feet.
Right.
Okay. Now, aside from the fact that I got that frost nip and these toes are just dead, like I don't feel here except for very sensitive. The toes or the nails stop growing on the big toes because of the trip to Minnesota. Negative 33 degrees will do a number on you.
We had negative 30 something here.
But my point is, this is healthy ass shit, and after all the walking around and shit we've done, I showered this morning. Like I said, dude, I can't stand this whole like second puberty thing because it's like clearly my private area is speaking for me right now.
Oh yeah, mine
a little too loud.
I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll shower, and immediately after I shower, it's like,
It wants to have sex more than I do. We'll just put it that way.
yeah.
But I'm saying even after a whole day, it's like this is how you should look. This is how I should smell. This is
Right.
And I smell like deodorant. Like I put deodorant on. I
Right,
got a little
but-
bit of cologne
So
on.
now also with the Dr. Squatch, they have deodorant too.
Oh, that's cool.
So
oh.
I'd say, so yeah, I agree with
So
you.
it really
hygiene-
is an odor.
I agree with you. Hygiene is important. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is currently now with the majority of chemicals that we mix into everything,
Yeah, it's-
especially in our hygiene products, it's
easy to avoid
It's-
that.
it's
Though. You know what I
toxic,
mean?
right,
it's,
right.
it's easy to avoid.
but
it.
the people are still using it because that's what they've grown up with. Maybe they've grown up with a certain brand. Like I was using Axe body spray and Axe.
My mom used
Axe
to buy me when I was in
shampoo and
college.
body
She'd
wash,
buy
right.
me Axe body wash and
Right.
shit. Like
And that shit
okay.
just smells good, but it really just stinks. Like,
It's too potent.
And so what makes it smell good? Chemicals.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I know I'm saying I'm going toward a more natural way of living. I don't want to sound like a hippie.
you do
but,
sound like a hippie, but that's
but-
whatever, man. You
but
are
it-
do what you gotta do.
but if you think
And
about
but
it, it's the
still,
best
what you're
thing for
saying
me.
Isn't wrong.
because now I'm learning to avoid all the things that
Well, and look how I landed on the food I eat. It's
Right.
healthy, but I did it
But
on accident.
my motivation is to be completely off all the medical shit.
Yeah, exactly. And you're
All I'm
almost
doing
there.
is taking one
Yeah.
shot a week. So if I can eliminate this before I have to go on health insurance again, once I'm off my parents,
Yeah.
I won't have hardly any health expenses. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because I was nervous when I was dealing with type 1 when I thought I had it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shit, I'm going to have to do this the rest of my life. I'm going to have huge medical bills. I'd feel like less of a man just because I can't provide for my family because I got to pay for my medical shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit like that. And so, it affected my mental
Dude, I wish
health.
we still had Andrew here because
It-
I'd be curious to see how.
It ruled my entire life because I'd be like, well, you know what? I'm type 1. I can't deal with this right now. I'm dealing with all this health shit, and there's all these risks, and you could end up having ED at a young age if you have uncontrolled.
erectile? Oh, I
Yeah.
was gonna say what's
For-
erectile
yeah, for
dysfunction.
diabetics,
Oh
because-
shit, dude,
because
that's crazy. Because of the medication.
No, with too much sugar, it thickens your blood. That's what happens. They even did a diagram where they took blood in like a bag and they mixed certain amounts of sugar. They said, here's with normal amount, here's with diabetic, and they showed how thick the blood would get.
Oh, okay.
And so because your blood
Yeah.
is so thick, nothing's flowing. So your body might be producing the testosterone, but it's not
But it's
getting
not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. It's not being used
Yeah.
because your blood's so thick and it's nothing's going through. And then on top of that, you have mental declines. Like when I was younger, when I was a genius level or IQ, guess what?
The hell does that?
I
mean?
because I actually got I'm not going to go into details, but I
All
actually
right.
got tested on it when I was like
I've never
junior
taken an
high, high
IQ
school
test.
level. I had a genius level IQ. When I noticed my diabetes was starting to appear, my mental faculties declined because you have brain fog and you're exhausted just from maintaining your own fucking metabolism. It is exhausting. When I thought I was type 1, that's 4 shots a day, 3 to 4 shots a day for a normal day. If your blood sugar is too high, that's 5 or 6 because you have to give yourself extra shots. And then on top of that, you're tired from the insulin because the insulin makes you tired by lowering your blood sugar, all this stuff. You're gaining weight. I was taking insulin when I didn't need it, and I ballooned with weight.
Jesus.
And then you get slower because you're fat, and I'd work out even. I'd be
Yeah.
working out, and still, it was hard for me to lose weight.
Yeah.
And now that I'm off insulin completely, and I'm just taking the Ozempic, and my body's learning how to use its own insulin, sugar I respond to normally now. If I have sugar, I might be more awake instead of being tired because my body's not, wasn't processing it. And
I love the tone of your
and
voice.
even-
it sounds like you're yelling at yourself.
even-
like
and
you're
even-
yelling at your body. Like,
and-
God damn it, this is how it should have been the whole time.
And even now, now luckily when I went through that period of being type 1 and avoiding sugar, even though sugar wasn't really a problem,
Yeah.
I have all this Christmas candy that I haven't even touched. I'm like, ooh, yay.
Wait, what the fuck is Christmas candy? I know Halloween candy. You just got
you get
lucky?
candy in your stocking.
Sure.
Christmas
Oh,
candy.
okay, all right. Yeah, whatever.
So-
I haven't had a stocking in a while. Lucky.
Well, I probably won't next year. Well, but I mean,
Who
whatever.
gives a
But
fuck?
right. But anyway,
I'll leave you something. Santa
But-
will be there.
but anyway, I have Christmas
I'll give
candy.
you a hug.
I have Christmas candy now, And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I barely touch it. I might have a couple pieces every now and again,
Yeah.
but I'm
you
just
can
like,
enjoy it now.
right. But I'm also not just like, oh,
Dude, you
know,
know,
I'm
and
gonna
what I
have it all the
noticed
time.
too is I'm really obsessed with ice cream. It's the only sweet that I really. Don't worry, you're good. I clinged on to clang, clang clang.
I know why you've clinged on to chocolate. Okay, so
Let me
chocolate.
finish. Let me finish before I forget. Hang on.
Okay.
Hold on to it. That's why I was giving you a notepad. You didn't want it though. But even so, the way you get to eat candy now, it's like my guess is you only can have a certain amount at a time. But what I've realized is I love that about the way I eat ice cream is I barely put each spoonful is not a spoonful. It's just a tidbit of ice cream because it's so
Sweet.
rich. It's
Yeah.
so rich that that's all you need. And next thing I know, I'm done. I'm good. It's like holy shit, that tasted
Right.
heavenly.
Right.
So you barely need it. So now that you can eat candy, it's like you get to enjoy it the way candy was meant to be enjoyed by a
Right.
normal fucking human being.
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
But the reason why chocolate you're
Yeah, I
more
wanna hear
addicted
this.
to
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
because not only does it stimulate dopamine, but it also mimics the love hormone.
Is that why they use it as a quote unquote aphrodisiac?
Yeah, or like that's why you on Valentine's Day you'd give your woman strawberries and chocolate.
I just figured women love chocolate.
Because
I love chocolate.
Well, it has
Who
the
doesn't love
reason why you
chocolate?
love it. I just mentioned.
No, I know.
It stimulates the love hormone.
No, it
and-
definitely feels
That's what
good
trigger-
to eat.
yeah,
Yeah, it
that's what
feels
triggers
good
it.
to eat chocolate.
And
I don't
chocolate-
feel aroused, but
And chocolate naturally
Yeah.
stimulates your dopamine.
I feel. Yeah, I was gonna say I
Because
feel a little
they,
happier.
They say
maybe.
even if you're depressed, sometimes
Yeah,
having a piece
well,
of
happier.
chocolate, yeah, you're happy.
Like I'll walk down, have ice cream, and I'll just walk upstairs, and all I'm doing is this. Then I'll talk to the Nutcrackers for no fucking reason, and just walk into my room and have a great day.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, just a little bit goes a long way. Yeah.
But I'm glad that eventually, I would say, like right now, I'm just kind of dealing with what I have to eat in terms of parents' houses. But when I move out on my own, I'm having a
That's
lot.
what we never finished. What you
Okay.
said you're gonna go shopping? What's
So-
your daily thing gonna be?
I'm gonna have, a good portion of nuts that I can eat. That's what I like. I'm gonna have quesadillas, which aren't too processed. They're pretty standard. Basically, just get the unbleached ones, and if they're low carb, that's like the best because you can, you don't want to have too many carbs.
Tortillas are delicious.
Yeah, and they're good. And then I'm gonna have spices with the quesadillas because I've learned that is so much better. I put garlic powder and onion powder on there.
You should use actual garlic and onion. I can show
Well,
you how to.
yeah, I've done that before, but
Okay.
I don't have onions. Yeah, so I'll use spices.
You can though. I'm just saying
Right.
if you ever want it,
But
because I'm gonna grow it in the back.
so there's quesadillas that I like to make. There's the nuts I'm gonna eat, and then also like some salads every now and again.
What's your preferred salad?
I'll have croutons, rancher blue cheese, and then I'll put banana. Like I said, I like spicy stuff. I'll put banana peppers, onions. Pretty much the same thing I'll put on my Subway sandwich. I'll put in a salad.
I always like chicken Caesar.
Except
That was always...
for the meat. But I mean I might have bacon bits in there too, which is
Sure.
good.
Hell yeah.
But see, if you
Add a
notice,
little
that's
flavor.
the only unhealthy thing I might have in a majority healthy thing.
Whatever.
But because you've been conditioned to have a flavor. If you completely switch to a natural diet, you're gonna be like, well, this doesn't taste right. I don't
See,
like
and that's what I was trying to disagree with you before. When I said my neurotic behavior with making food, I turned that healthy meal into something delicious simply by the way I cook it and adding mustard.
Right.
And then it's delicious.
But if you notice, the mustard is probably the only thing that's quote unquote.
No, my favorite, and this was always true with like the McDonald's sausage egg McMuffin. I was still obsessed with them, but I haven't had one in forever. But there's something about when the American cheese or cheddar cheese, actually they use real cheddar in this shit I'm eating. But there's always been something about when the sausage, bread, and cheese combine,
Right.
it really makes a good flavor. So the egg's there for health purposes, but I'm there for the fucking combination of sausage, egg, and bread. Or sorry, sausage, cheese, and bread.
Right.
The mustard is just a little bit of spice to give it a kick. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I disagree. If you say, like, eating healthy doesn't have to be boring,
Right.
and it can be cheap as fuck.
Right.
You just got to know what you're playing around with.
Exactly.
And I cooked a long time.
So-
I'd love to teach you shit.
I mean, I would say, and those healthy breakfast sandwiches.
That's just simple. You know what I mean? I would be cooking, but that's like I'm working from
right.
home.
And
Let's just, do
quesadillas are
it.
simple. Salads are
Yeah.
simple. I like peanut butter sandwiches.
The only thing I don't like about quesadillas is a typical quesadilla really is just cheese and bread.
That's why you put more in.
But
yeah.
you know, so this always cracks me up about Mexican food. What the fuck is the difference between a taco, burrito, quesadilla, you name it? It's all, hey, let's break up all this fucking food, lay it down on some bread, and fold it in some kind of shape.
Yep.
Everything they serve is the same thing.
Bread-
It's awesome.
Bread with stuff in it.
Yeah, bread with stuff in it. So check this out. I made the biggest mistake on New Year's. Maybe did we talk about the burger disaster fiasco on the podcast
Oh, maybe yeah.
when I switched to Chipotle sauce on accident? So
No.
okay, so I tried this new burger place that I've never tried before, and I was like, fuck it, it's a real burger, you know, like $10 burger kind of shit.
Right.
And I got fried egg, I got bacon, I got jalapeno, I got onion, lettuce, and I was gonna go with pickle, but I was like, it's a spicy burger. I want a spicy burger. I don't need pickle. But they didn't I could have gone with just barbecue sauce, but I was like, Chipotle sauce. What does that even taste like? Big mistake. Simply because now it didn't taste bad. But I had literally, inadvertently, accidentally churned my burger into a big ass fucking taco. So it literally tasted like a taco. I was eating jalapeno, onion, everything, all the ingredients right there. The cheese, the red meat, you know, the beef. I got the bread, all wrapped up in a nice flavor of what the fuck did I buy from Taco Bell? But that wasn't Taco Bell. That was a burger from a nice burger place.
Now they do have taco burgers, but that's
But again, it's just
Yeah.
amazing that just by changing the sauce,
yeah.
I literally had a big taco for dinner. It was bizarre. I was like, well, fuck. I wanted a burger, but I guess I'm going to have to go with a really delicious, weird taco. Anyway. Well, I'm good. You good?
I mean, we could do 15 minutes more, but I like to stop like a half hour before I leave.
Sure, I'm good. All right. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know. We've been all over the place.
Yeah, I would say
did we leave
really
anything
this was just a
untalked?
surprise podcast because of everything.
Oh yeah, total
Dude,
accident.
even my muffler came in today.
I know. Yeah.
Like after we had to talk to the police,
Everything
and
just
after we did all of our stuff, it was just like
So if anyone asks you tomorrow, what'd you do on your day off? Just be like, I don't know. The real question is, what did I not do on my day off?
What did I not
Yeah,
do?
I pretty much did anything you could guess.
so.
I
This
mean,
Friday, I'll be checking my account for that bonus check.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you know what, and remember how you asked me if I should probably wait to spend my 300 because now that I got my bike coming in, I don't need to.
No,
because,
that's not why I said that.
well, you said in case something happens.
The reason I mentioned that was, if anything happens in relation to you needing to pay rent once you start living here.
Mhm.
Like, I just want to make
Well, yeah,
sure
when
that
I start
you're
living here,
comfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm at a point to where I'm still.
Oh,
be
you're
able
gonna
to-
be good.
Dude, I'm still gonna be able to
okay.
save next week because I'll
Yeah.
save my.
Never mind, do whatever you want.
Yeah, the amount that I have, and the bonus is just.
I just wanted to make sure you were thinking ahead.
Because
but
I've been
yeah,
saving my bonuses. This
Yeah.
is the one time I'm actually going to spend.
Gonna use it. I got
Yeah.
you.
But yeah, by March I'll have more savings and I'll be fine.
Well, it was a quiet night tonight. I think we
Right.
had 3 different people show up, but that's all right.
All right. Well, this is the producer / promoter and
yeah.
Anthony.
Doctor, producer, promoter, and that Anthony dude. And that's Thought Bubble Podcast with us, signing off. Have a good